Hello, good morning. Let's make sure I opened the right one. iLife. All right, here we go. Starting to let people in. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Mary. And Mary. Both Marys are here. Hi, Rosa. Hi, Harry. And oh, there's Leon. Hi, Leon. Hi, Yalmar. Everyone's in at the same time. Hi, Jackie. How are you? Hi, Molly. Nice to
My
see
thoughts are
you.
with you.
Buongiorno.
Oh, somebody just woke up.
No, I've been up. I've been trying to get in repeatedly. It's like you weren't even there. And then all of a sudden, I went back to the link. I tried it again, and then I got in.
Yep, that's how it works when the class isn't open yet. I'm joining from the other computer. Give me a sec. Hold on, stay as co-host. And no audio on the second one. Continue. All right. And let me in from the other side. Okay. So guys, I'm going to do my best, but I'm not. I'm actually sicker today than I was last week. It's just that last week I had no voice, but I didn't feel sick. And then I was okay-ish all week. And then this weekend was bad. Like I really got hit over the head on Wednesday. And my family, someone had a fever. And then it went kind of downhill from there because we're all like taking turns. Anyway, so I'll do my best, especially given that last week I had no voice and I didn't teach it. So I'll keep going. And if at some point I just go, you guys, I can't anymore, please understand. But I'm fine. Okay, so I have connected from both. Yeah, here's the other one. All right, ready to go. So it's been quite an eventful week at home, other than people getting sick in and out. That's the not good news. The good new news, the new good news. Let's just say the good news. I might get tongue twister here. Is hold on, I have to unlock my phone. Okay, the phone that's connected to the computer. Trust. All right, almost done. Every time I start the computer again, it needs me to make me trust my phone. There we go. All right. Because they're all kind of anonymous because they're the school system. And each time it tells me, is this really your phone? And I have to tell it, yeah, this is really my phone. All right. And so the thing that I was saying is the good news is that my son was accepted to Berkeley. That's exciting. To go to Berkeley. I know. So now we're trying to figure out life because I thought he was going to be
What's going to be his major?
South. I mean, his focus is still media studies, but in film studies. I'm sorry, but in Berkeley, it's part of a media studies. I mean, the way he sees it, a degree in film isn't necessary to be like to direct films. It's more like getting a good education. So he's considering anthropology or some other stuff. Anyway, directors get there in many different ways. He has all the know-how. Some of you who've been with me for a while know that my son makes marvelous movies, wins prizes all the time. Like he has the know-how of making movies. What he needs is, a higher education. So he's trying to look and see what the options are. But anyway, Yeah, I mean, he has other choices, but that seems to be right now the top choice.
Mhm.
Other than the intense amount of dangerous activity, criminal activity going on. And as a mom, that's what I worry about going on in San Francisco and Berkeley right now. But anyway, all right, I'm sharing my screen. And here we go. Oh, and by the way, the one who's the one I'm talking about is this guy,
Yeah, Santi.
Santi, my oldest guy. All right. So last week, or not last week, I will say last week all the time, although I'm very aware it was 2 weeks ago. All right, I'm gonna say last week because that's how in my brain it seems last week. Last time we met, we had finished talking about all these different ways that that Apple automatically tells you or helps you find your photos. And it's these over here, right? And some of them you have to create by telling your computer which one is your favorite photo by giving it the little heart sign. And so it goes and settles itself into the favorites. All the rest that we talked about are pretty automatic, except for we haven't talked about people yet, which isn't automatic. The computer doesn't know who a face is. You need to tell it who a face is, right? So hold on, let me let some more people in. Oh, I haven't said hi, Minnie. How are you? And who else just joined us? Hi, Alan. All right. Okay. So before I continue with that, I also want to show you one very important other way that the computer files or helps us organize and find our things is here under the albums. A lot of what's in the albums is going to be what we put into it, like we're going to create albums of things. But in case yours is closed, like my albums and closed and projects are both closed right now. If this is how you see it, like there's nothing there, then notice that when you put your mouse over those two words, a little arrow appears over here. And the same thing would happen over here. Like if you see all these closed, it's not that they disappeared, but when you hover over the word, and only when you hover over the word, then an arrow appears over here and then you can open. And so if this is what's happening to you and you see nothing, go to albums and click on that, and then that'll open. And the same with projects. Now you might have none of shared albums. You might not have albums of your own yet, but for sure you have media types, because this is the only other automatic one that Apple sets up. And so now that it's available, I'll go, it's the other way around. I'll go to the arrow on this side. These arrows always are about collapsing or expanding. So now I'm going to expand the media types. And here we go. You're going to have here as many media types as your library has, meaning if you've never taken a raw photo, you will not have raw. If you've never done a screen recording, you will not have screen. If you've never done a panorama, you will not have it, right? But if you have videos or selfies or portraits, like if you have any of these kinds of things in your albums, they will appear. But you need to have created them yourself for them to appear, okay? So if you all see this media types area and you have at least say 2 or 3 categories, give me a good old yes to make sure that you found it and that you are aware of what area I'm talking about. Now, if you want to, you see here that I have videos, selfies, live photos, portrait, panorama, screenshot, screen recordings, and raw. If you have something that's beyond one, if you have these, that's fine, don't write it. But if you have anything other than this, please go into the chat and write that other thing that you have that I might not have. You might have slow motion or time lapse or something like that. By the way, can you please also go to the chat and give me everyone a little good morning, and then I'll continue. So Molly, your hand is up?
No, I meant to say yes.
Oh, got it.
No.
Okay, so then go ahead and lower your hand and give
Oh my.
yes. Yeah, that's fine. That's why I react to the hands up. All right. Oh, I just tried to open my coffee and it's Spit on me. Give me a second. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Let
I
me,
have first.
let me, I'm on the other computer now. Give me a second while I make this a tad smaller so I can see you guys on the other computer as well as this one. Okay. That way it's ready for when I have to share that one. All right. And here we go. There's, okay. So what this means is that say that you have 10,000, 10 million photos, it doesn't matter, and you're looking for a video. Well, then you click here on videos and then only your videos pop up. Okay. So it's kind of, again, a way of helping you find things of a particular type and kind. Now, no one here, so Mary says that she has a time lapse. Molly says she has a burst. Mary Ferris also said she has a slow-mo and an animated. Okay, and then that's it. So just Mary and Molly see two things that are beyond what I have here. Anyone else, remember, put it in the chat if there's something else other than at this point. Now we know about slow-mo or time lapse or animated or burst. So those four things are things that your co-conspirators here in this class have found beyond what I have. And again, that just means that somehow or another with their phone, they took a photo or a video or something with that feature. Now, these are features that come in your iPhones. Okay. So these features are something that your iPhone can take. So these are not things that will come in here if your photo came from a regular DSLR camera, it'll just come in as a photo. Well, the other thing that could come in through your regular camera would be if it's a raw photo, but it wouldn't give you all of these other things. These are iPhone features. Your hand is up, Rosa, yes?
Yes, Diana. I have the same like you, media types. I click over there and they show me I have video, I have selfie, I have a screenshot, I have different things. But in the left, I don't have like you specific then to have like you videos or selfies. So what I need to do?
But when you
view or?
Well, if you see media types, if you see videos,
Yes.
and
No,
you
I
click on
I didn't
it.
see. I have when I click, I see my right, like you.
Like
but in
this, like this.
Yes, but in my left.
Okay, so it's
I don't
possible
have.
that you have. Okay, so watch. This is what's happening. Remember, I told you you have to uncollapse the albums if it's collapsed. I also mentioned. Hold on, let me someone in.
Oh, I got it.
When
Thank
you have this little arrow on the left.
I was
you need to
looking
open that.
the arrow
Yeah.
in the right, no, in
Exactly.
the left. Okay.
So on the left, you have the collapse these. So here's what she's talking about. If you just click on the word media types, then you have in here, you see that it says videos, selfies, live photos, portrait. Like it's the same set of things that I had before. So let me explain what this is. This here is like, if you want a main album, these are all called albums, like a folder, not an album, sorry, a folder that holds a bunch of albums, right? So this is a folder called media types, and it's created by Apple. This is one of those automatic ones like these up here. And inside of there's an album with 39 videos, an album with 21 selfies, an album with 33 photos, live photos, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to see them individually and you open over here, then you go straight to just seeing the videos. There they are, just seeing the selfies, just seeing the live photos. Does that make sense? But if you were to not want to have all these collapsed, you can click in here only, and then you'd go, okay, I want to see my 21 selfies, right? And look what's happening. As I hover over this, I'm just kind of moving my hand. I'm not clicking, and it's slowly showing me all of them. And okay, go back, click on the word media types, okay? not on the individual ones, but on the word media types. It can be open or closed. And then when you hover over here, it lets you, I'm moving my mouse and it kind of lets you play really quickly all those all those 21 selfies, all those 39 videos. So you can have an idea of what's in here. There's 5 in here, right? It kind of gives you a little bit of a live preview, but you don't have to click here at all. You just have to move your mouse. Okay.
You're showing this on your phone right now?
No, this is all on the computer.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, I saw your note about how a complicated way to get here. You do
But
get my
I got here.
but you do get my morning email, right?
I did, but
Saying-
yeah, but the problem is that when I go into my computer, right, I only had 2 messages from Pipeline and it wasn't yours. I mean, it was like old, I didn't have any of all the other ones. So then
Okay.
but
I
I
think
don't want to talk
yeah.
about it now. I
No,
want
no, I got that. But I think I've asked you to go to tech support to figure that out because you had that
I
concern
had
before last
figured it
time.
out before. but
Okay.
then
All right,
something
yeah.
happened.
You need to figure out how to get that fixed.
I'll take it
because
care of, don't worry.
I can't
No,
help you
no,
anyway.
no.
All right. So guys, so this is just a little kind of live preview of everything you have. Of course, when you have 5, you can kind of gently do like this and see all 5. But when you have 72, it's, you know, you can stop and tell, but you won't really be seeing each one. But it gives you an idea of what's in each one of these guys. All right. So these, as I said, were made by your phone. Some of them are very obvious. A video, it's when you take a video. Now, how many of you guys have never taken a video on your phone? Maybe. So I'm going to show you a little bit what each one of these media types are like by picking up my phone, and then I'm going to share my screen in this computer so that I can share my phone. Okay. Come on. There we go.
Mhm.
All right. So here we are. So I'm going to go into the camera because that's where we shoot the photos or the videos. So I'm going to click in there. And here I'm, you know, self-referentially photographing ourselves on this computer. So now what I'm going to do is I can't, well, down here at the very bottom, when you first open the camera, you can flip through different settings. So this is the easiest one
Okay.
to demo. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me head back to photo. So when you're in photo, right, there's a couple different settings here that'll make a difference. So I'm going to stop here a little bit later. First, let me go really quickly to the easy ones, meaning if you move to the left, that's video, right? So if you're going to take a video, all you need to do is press on this little red button. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to press, and now I'm recording. See how this turns into that. And then I can stop it. So there you go. I just took a video. Then you have, if you keep going left, that's the slow-mo, right? And it's also a video. And so I have a couple of slow-mo examples of some water coming out of a faucet, which is really cool. I'll show it to you. Trust it. It takes a second. But I'm going to do a little slow-mo here. I'm going to film my hand doing this, right? And you'll see it. So here's my slow-mo starting, and I'll stop it. And there you go. And that little thing that I just did, later we're going to play it, and you're going to see how it plays in a slow-mo. And here's the next one, time-lapse. So the only one who mentioned having slow-mos and time-lapse was Mary. You might have done these by mistake if you don't know why you did them, right? But if you do a time lapse, it makes no sense to do a time lapse here because there's nothing quick happening. But point your camera to the sky, put it in time lapse, and then shoot some clouds going through, and then it'll go like they'll go through really fast, right? Like those people who suddenly photograph the sun, the flower opening quickly. You just put the camera still and you say play, and then you wait until the flower opens, and next thing you know, it opens in like a second, right? That's what slow time lapse would be. So the only reason you would have taken these or had these in your system, Mary, would be if at some point you tried to take a picture, but it was in this setting by mistake and you didn't notice, you still played, and you thought it filmed the video or a photo, and it didn't. Instead, it did a time lapse or a slow-mo, unless you intentionally did that. So as you can see, I'm just putting my mouse in here and moving sideways. And let me continue again past the photo to the one on the right side. That one takes portraits. Now, the portrait setting, excuse me. Oh, apologize. The portrait setting is actually is one where you can change, like if you're going to take a photo of a person and you just do it here in photo, it'll look fine. But it might take a picture with everything that's surrounding it. It will all look really sharp, for example, and it'll get really distracting to see a person amongst a whole bunch of other stuff. You go to photo, you can choose to have better lighting. You can choose to have better exposure. For those of you who understand about photography exposure, you can change the f-stops and the speed and stuff like that. I'm going to show you also in here, you can put different light on people. You can decide that you want the light to show, like you can tell it, sorry. You want contour light or studio light or natural light. These are just settings that you can change so that the person that you're photographing gets photographed better. So say that you are in a situation of studio light, you would choose this one and the photo would come better. These are really details that I don't want to spend too much time on, because that would be teaching you how to use the camera, which isn't part of this class, to say the truth. I'm doing my best to show you a little bit, but explore it. Or you can get some help. I'm going to show you some places where you can get some tutorial video. Though. Let me let Yolanda in. Here we go. But anyway, there's a lot going on in here. For those of you who are interested in exploring this a little bit more up high, you have the f-stop. You can bring this up and then you can change your f-stop. So if you don't know anything about photography from the time of digital cameras, don't this might be above your head. So, but for those of you who do know a bit about photography, down here you have f-stops and you can get a very high depth of field or a low depth of field. Anyway, I'm going to just kind of showing you that. But again, it's not something I'll teach you right now. It's for those of you who understand what I'm talking about already. Okay. And then when you don't want that, you turn it off from up here again. You also have one last one. Give me a second, which is the panoramics. And everyone, the panoramic one here is pretty cool. Because it allows you to be in front of a beautiful landscape, and you can photograph it by going like this and taking the entire landscape. So you would put your mouse here. So say that your phone normally would only take a picture of this much. And here you have half of a river, but over here you have a beautiful sunset, and here you have some beautiful trees, and you want the whole thing. So you go to the beginning of that beautiful moment, you click on this arrow, right? Oh, sorry, not on the arrow, I apologize. The arrow is telling you to move in that direction. It says move iPhone continuously. So you would keep your phone really still in your hands, and then you would just press go down here. And then you just slowly move your phone over like that. And then when you're done, when you've reached the end, you say stop. And there you go. You've taken a panoramic picture, and you can do it almost 360 degrees, not exactly, but pretty cool. All right. So that's all the features that come here already in this phone. And then when we're at the photos, just a simple photo, there's a couple of other things. And the first one that some people find wonderful and some people find very confusing is this one up here, which is the live photo setting, which if you turn it on by touching it, or turn it off by touching it again. So touch it, it's on, touch it, it's off. So right now it's yellow, it means it's on. And what a live photo is really a tiny, I believe 1 second or 2 second video. It doesn't show up in videos though, because it's not really a video, but it's just a couple of seconds of a video in the sense that it takes it with some movement. For better or for worse, let me take a picture right now while I'm moving this hand. I'm just trying to take a photo, right? So I'm going to take a live photo. There we go. Later, I'll show you what this means, like what this actually does to your photo. If say that you're taking a picture of someone who's moving around a little bit, you're going to see different. It's really a 1 second video, although it's a photo, and it takes just a second of the action that's happening in front of you. So some people love that, some people hate that. If you don't even know what it is, I'll show you to you when we go back into the actual Photos app. But that's what controls it now. If you, by default, it's always on. And if you don't want to take live photos, then you actually have to go change the settings in your preference so that it always starts off. Otherwise, right now, even though I turned it off, if I now close my Photos app, when I go back into my camera, now I have it set that it respects my setting, and I just told it off. So now it starts off. And then when I close this, let me turn it on again. Now I turn it on. So when I close my Photos app, I left it on. When I turn on my camera, it's on. So it respects how I left it, versus most of you probably have it set up where it's always on. And so that's something we have to change in the preferences if you want it to stay off when you tell it to stay off. So when I get to the preferences, I'll show you that. Okay. And then there's
Diana, permiso. One quick question.
Yeah, can you mind raising your hand sometimes, Leon? Because
sorry.
Just give me a quick second to see if there's anyone else, because I thought I had another hand. Well, that other hand has lowered itself. So yes, Leon, go ahead. What's your question?
Well, thank you for that f-stop thing. I never knew that was in there. And so I played with it. I scrolled back and forth. But like you just said about the thing you're working on now, is that whatever you leave it at, it stays there. And so now I forgot what the kind of neutral f-stop. I mean, I kind of went back to the middle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you go.
4.5 may not be the setting. What is this neutral?
That 4.5 is actually a pretty neutral setting.
Okay.
So that's correct.
Thank you very
it's
much.
It's somewhere in between. It's not too much one or too much the other. Let me show you one last important thing on just the photo. I'm in the take photo. So 99% of your photos will be taken just straight from here, from the Photos app, from the photo setting, right? And then there's a couple more. Way up on top, you'll see that there's the flash on the left side. So I'm going to turn on the flash or turn off the flash, right? Same thing. If you turn it on or off. Now, what does that mean? If you have, I see you raise your hand, Sarah, so give me a second. When you have this on, that means that if it's dark enough, your camera is automatic. Your camera will flash, right? And if it's a daylight, it just won't. So that's like an automatic flash. But sometimes you don't want the flash to happen no matter what. And you just turn it off, and then it'll say, like before, it'll stay off. And it'll not flash unless you remember to turn it on. So if you're someone who just doesn't want to think about it, leave it always on. You might have not noticed that you've touched this part at some point and suddenly it's been off all this time and you've been wondering why your pictures didn't flash. That said, I don't really like the flash too much. In cases of desperate darkness, it works, but the phones are now made in such a way that they're really good at taking pictures in the dark. And the flash always looks a little bit artificial. So anyway, I tend to leave mine on off, and I only choose when I want it on. Before I continue, yes, Sarah?
Yeah, it had to do with the portrait setting. I've noticed when I have used the portrait setting, I want to get up close to that image, but it keeps on telling me move further away.
Yeah. So the portrait, let me go and answer that right now. The portrait setting is a specific setting that, as opposed to a real camera, which you do this with lenses, where you make the background out of focus and the front in focus, and that's really what it does, to blur the background so that you can focus on the person and stuff like that. In the iPhone, it does it through software. And in order to be able to do that, it needs a certain distance. So say that you could normally take a picture at 1 inch and it would still be in focus, right? Like you can get really close and you can still get focus. Look at how closely I'm photographing, then it's still in focus. When you're in the portrait mode and you try to take a picture, it'll have you sit back at quite a distance before that whole focus software thing can work in order to blur the background, right? So yeah, in this one, you'll try to take a picture and it'll say move back, and you'll have to do it. Otherwise it won't work. It'll just give you everything blurry. Okay, that's just part of the feature of the portrait setting. So yeah, you just have to move back because that's its limitation. And then I'm back at the photo mode here. And the last thing I wanted to show you is this little arrow right there. So normally it's closed, and down here when you have it, or pointing upwards, if so, you see slow-mo video portrait. But if you click on that, and I'm going to go click on it, look what changed down here. You have access again to the flash that was there, but you have more setting. You have access again to the live photos, but you have some more settings. You have access to ratio, I'll show you in a minute, to the time lapse, and to some filters. So let me show you what these are really quickly. And again, this is it. Later I'm going to continue going on with how to use the Photos app, which is what this class is about. But this is just a quick primer for you guys to explore these things on your own, or I can show you some videos where you can learn a bit more about these. But anyway, I'll click here on the flash choice, and it tells me, well, do I want flash auto, flash on, or flash off? So these are the three choices that I could set this in order to have that always shoot on. So if I say on, right, now I left it on every single time I shoot, it's on. So no matter what I shoot, it's going to flash, right? Boom, right there. I took a picture and I don't know if you saw a flash come up. So I forced it to be always on, which is a really bad idea. Or you can force it to be always off, in which case it'll always be off unless you touch that choice up there, which is kind of the choice I make. Or you can have it in auto where it decides on its own. So this is where you make those decisions about your flash. After you're done making those decisions, then up there, it lives in whatever decision you made. And again, I got there by clicking on this little arrow. Okay, that there is what is giving me these choices. It's up, it gives me the regular photo portrait. If I click on it and it's pointing down, it's like it opens these choices. Okay, again, same with a live photo. If I decide that I want to have it always on, which is what it's doing now, it will start with this little kind of circle. And I think, Yolanda, that's your question. The FF with the circle. Is this the one you say it? Yolanda just asked.
No, it's on the in my iPhone. It's on the right side. There's a small F. It just got capitalized in my chat, but a little two F
Okay.
small, and then there is a circle circling it.
Okay, yeah, I think that's. I'll walk through the rest, and I think I know what you mean. Anyway,
Okay.
So here's the live on, which is my setting. Or if I tell it no, just stay off. Okay, in which case this will be off. So now if I close my my photo app, right, and I turn it on again, my camera app, then it lives on off. Okay, so that's what you would do. Someone asked me, should we leave it on or off? I leave mine off because I don't need to take a video every take a photo, because the live photos have certain advantages, and I'll tell you when I turn it on. But when you leave it on all the time, then each photo takes up much more space, because videos take up much more space than photos. So each photo turns out to be like 27. Each live photo might be like 27 photos worth of space, right? So I leave mine off. But that's a recommendation. I don't know. You choose your own. When I click on this 4:3, you get to choose what ratio you want your photos to be. So 4:3 is the typical ratio of a film camera, the one you're accustomed all your life to taking. but you might want your photos to only be photographed in square all the time. You only want square photos. This is kind of a silly, to me, format, but it used to be that people who did Instagram, you could only post square photos. So people began to know how to frame. You did only square photos. Now you can post anything into Instagram or anywhere. So that's kind of a moot point. If you forcefully want to take square photos, go ahead and do it. I'd rather always take a regular photo and then crop it if I need to have a square photo. Anyway, so that's what the second one is. And then the third one, 16.9, turns your entire camera into a photo. So it's actually like, have you ever, it's a film, like film, like a movie frame. It's really long. So if you were to take a movie of something, it would be much wider. You see how the photo goes from down here all the way to up there. So it's a much wider format. And some people like to have theirs like this. And in fact, I think it's the default setting for some people, because then you photograph much more underneath and above every time you take a picture. So that might be something that you want, so that you have a wider photo to start with. I think the default one is now 4:3, although I have seen a lot of people with this just on that as an automatic. So maybe it's a choice, or maybe on some phones it comes like that automatic. I'm going to go back to having it before 3. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have it back at 4:3, and these are the traditional settings. Before I continue with the last two, I saw a hand up there. Yes, Janine. I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. And it's interesting because you are unmuted. Can anyone else hear Janine, or is it just me? No, you are unmuted. Yeah, I can see that you're unmuted, but I don't hear you. So I don't know what's happening to your sound. If you're anything you're saying, I just see your mouth moving. There's zero sound. So if you want to write it in the chat, or because maybe turn, yeah, it's weird because your sound, check your volume. I don't know what it could be, because I can see that you are unmuted. So it's not like you don't have to unmute yourself. I don't know what's happening that we don't hear you. So until you fix that, go ahead and write it in the chat. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so and then this was the timer. Have you ever had to say to a group, well, let me put this camera on a rock and then I'll come back and stand with you and you take a picture? So that's what this is. So you could, if you want to do that, you can have a 3-second timer or a 10-second timer. It should normally be off, but the moment when you want to take a picture and then you want to run back to the group, here's where your timer is. Okay, and then you turn it on and you get 3 seconds to run back or 10 seconds to run back. Put yourself in place. And then do it. Now to get out of here always, I keep clicking on the first one always to keep going back. And then the last one is filters. So say that you want to take this picture, but you already wanted it to be filtered. You can move things around and see how it's changing. You can take a black and white photo or something that says dramatic colors and things like that. So these are filters. I would rather put filters on if I want to filter at the end in the editing process, which I'm going to teach you to do here in this class, rather than take a picture already with filters, but that's what that is. Those 3 little circles there are filters. I'm going to back out. So those are all choices that come already with the camera. Now, this is an iPhone 10 that I'm demonstrating, which is the school iPhone. If anyone has a newer iPhone that has more features that I'm not even showing here, please let me know and we can look into them. But that's the settings that I believe when you have a, I went up here and I turned this off again so that I'm back in regular photo. Those are the settings that that seem pretty universal. There might be 1 extra or 2 extra new things. For example, in video, I know that newer phones have this thing called cinematic mode and stuff like that. Now, if you're deeply into videos, and here's my video, you can also go up here and change the quality of your video. Okay, so you could have just 30 frames per second, which is what this is. Or you can click on that and take really high level video, which is 4K or high drive. So if you do 4K, each one of your videos is going to fill up your camera, like 1 minute video will fill up your camera. If you have it on just, high definition, they'll still be really good quality, but they won't be such huge files. So be careful with taking video in humongous definitions. Now, if you have a very new camera, you might have a few more options of what high def means for you. Okay, so each time I click, I have HD 240. I click again, I have HD 120. I click again, 240. Right, so those are different, how many pictures get taken. And I used to have it on 30, and now it's not going back to 30. So, oh, that's slow-mo, I'm sorry. That's why it was weird. Here, video, there we go. So 4K, and here I can do 3D, 60, 30. So if I touch on HD, it changes the kind of photo it does. This is like the professional type of video. I'm going to turn that off. And over here, you can tell it 30 frames per second. So each time you take a 1 second of a video, you're taking the equivalent of 30 photographs. If you want it to be higher quality, you click on that, and that's 60 photographs in 1 second of video, or 30. And that's what I mean when I say 1 second of video is worth 30 photos. It's because of this. So if you take 2 seconds of video, that's 60 photos. If you take 3 seconds of video, et cetera, et cetera. Got it? That's why you have to be very careful with how many videos you take, because it's equivalent to thousands, literally thousands of photos. Yes, Alan? Your hand is up? Yeah.
Well, I do have some extra features in my new phone.
Okay, yeah. What would that be?
Well, let me get back to the,
Let me actually.
I'm not at the right screen at the moment, but there's
Okay.
cinematic is one feature.
Yes, cinematic mode is something that they have now in video. So, which is really cool because, like, right, look at that's kind of cool effect, isn't it? What I'm doing here with my camera. Cinematic mode, and don't forget that if you take video standing up like this, that's okay for social media. But you know how normally we're accustomed video should be done sideways, and it's hard because my zoom doesn't turn with me. But you should usually have your camera sideways when you take videos if you want it to be part of like something that plays well on like a TV or like a side formula. Anyway, what this is in a newer phone. In this phone, if I take a video and I change my focus, like I move around and I have something that's far away and something that's close, it won't follow it. But with cinematic mode, the focus keeps changing. So like if you photograph something far away or something close, it sticks with the person it's in the front, for example, or something like that, or it can go and set itself. So that's really cool. And yeah, you need a newer or more advanced camera to do that. That's what's called cinematic mode. So cool. Anything else that's very different?
I have to find the right screen to get to it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just looking at these choices. I have another phone here that's a bit newer that I borrowed, and when you go to this photo mode and you go up here in the newer camera that I can't connect to the phone because there's no connection for it, I see a couple more features here. I have one that looks like a little circle with lines that helps me shoot photos at night. I'm trying to think. And then there's the plus minus over here, which is the exposure. Again, over here you can change the exposure. Again, these are things for people who know a little bit more about photography itself, because if you don't know much about photography itself, it's hard to even understand some of these features. But all I'm going to say is this gets pretty, sophisticated. What's possible and what you can do. Okay, so again, there's all these places where you can learn more about how to use your camera. I have so many things going on, but I am constantly on the search for being able to create a new class. And up until now, the only way to teach a class of how to use your phone as a camera would have to be one of the classes that they teach in the fee-based program. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to put a class in this here where they're free, and see if I can do that so that I can teach you guys more about the camera itself. All right, so those are the basic big things about the camera. Let me just say though, that if you take a picture right now, I'm gonna take a picture of, say, the letter F. Oh, let me see if there's any questions. You can sync your camera to computer, yeah. Let me, does the latest camera, can it do macro? Yes. Check volume. What does the 0.5x mean? That was my question. Ooh. I don't know where you saw that though, so I don't know where that 0.05 times. Janine's asking.
I think
I
that's the
can't hear
Zoom.
her.
I think it's for the newer phones, they have the Zoom.
Oh, that's true. And okay, that's true. The iPhone 10 has only one lens in the back. You're right. Thank you. Okay, I got it. I see what you mean. Newer phones, yes, they have some settings here in the middle of the photo app. When you turn it on, it has some numbers in front. Thank you. I remember that. And
Yes, four choices: 0.5, 1 at 1x, and 2 and 3. So it's
yes. So what happens is right here where my arrow is in the screen right here, you see choices, and that's choosing each one of the lenses. Like you can have, if you turn your camera around, there's 1, 2, or 3 lenses, or 4. Does one come with 4 lenses now? Those little circles that are on the back of your camera, then those are the lenses. And then you choose the 0.5 would be a wide angle photo. 0.1x would be this, like this one, a straight photo. 2.5 would be zoomed in, and 3 would be zoomed further in. So those are, you would have to have bought a camera that physically has those lenses, and the iPhone 10 does not have those lenses. So I can't show it to you, but it appears over here. So you click on one of them and it zooms out or zooms in. So you can see more wide angle or zoomed in. That's what those are. And if that circle that you said appears, like if you just click it, it goes straight to that lens. But if you click and hold, it zooms somewhere in between those spots. Okay.
Yeah, I have one quick question about that.
Hold on. And you see 3 hands up? Please raise your hand.
Oh,
That's fine. That's fine.
Sorry.
You're welcome. Just reminding you all.
Yeah, thank you.
If no one's hand is up and you ask a question, I'll answer it. But the moment there's hands up, I want to follow the others. So, Alan, your hand was up because you were showing me some new things,
sorry.
right? So that's it now. Okay,
Yeah,
but
that's
thank you for pointing that out, Alan. That was very helpful.
Okay.
And Minnie.
I have RAW on my camera as well.
Yes, exactly. Up at the very top, when you take a picture, I only have the live on or off. But if you have a camera that can shoot RAW, remember I showed you that I have RAW photos in my other one? Then over here, you would have the choice for RAW to turn it on or off. And if you were to shoot RAW, right? If you were to say yes to RAW, then that photograph would become, again, humongous in size, not in size like a physical size, but the file would be really, really big and it'd take up a lot of your phone space. But on the other hand, technically it could be a much higher quality photo. So say that you want to take a picture and manipulate it in Photoshop and edit it and make it a picture to frame on a wall or something like that, you might want to start with a RAW photo. Okay, so that's what that is. If you don't know what or why it is, or have no reason to do it yet because you don't know how to edit a photo at a high level, you better not use RAW because it does take up a lot more space. But if you are doing photos that you want to edit into really beautiful pictures, it's worth it because it takes a much more detail in the photo to start with. All right. There's more to that, and I teach a lot about that in the Photoshop class, but here, that's all you really need to know, which is if you're not going to edit it much further, then don't take RAW. But if you're going to take this photo more seriously, so to say, then you can take it in RAW, then turn it on and off, because you don't want every photo for the rest of your time be in RAW, because they take up so much space in your phone. It only take a few photos, special photos in RAW. Okay, Sarah, your hand is up.
Yes. I have an iPhone 12 Pro.
Okay.
One of the things I do notice, I'm familiar with the 3 landscape, then the middle one, and then, the
Mhm.
telephoto. But I also noticed that in the middle one, you could actually increase going in, to make it larger in the middle one.
Yeah, in any one of them, if you
Can do
click
that?
if you click and hold your mouse over the number, right? Then like a semicircle appears at the bottom,
Yeah.
and then you can go up and down so that you don't have to be only in the full spots of half, 1 or 2, 5. You might want it to be in 1.6. And to do that, you hold down your finger when you click on the one, and then you swerve it back and forth. And then that basically moves you in and out of all your lenses, and that's it, right? That's as far as you can go. Now, you could go too far. You could actually go beyond the 2.5 doing that, and then that becomes a digital focus, and it's just much like lower quality zoom, but it's
More
possible.
pixelated.
Yeah. Mhm. So for those of you who know what we're talking about, it would, if you have a camera that has those 3 choices down here, if you click in for your 3 lenses, if you have 3 lenses in the back of your camera or 2, you click and hold on one of those numbers that would appear here, and then you'd see like a semicircle appear that lets you go back and forth. And it's basically like zooming in and out of a photo. I can't demo it with this camera, but there you go. All right, Janine, your hand is up again. Let's see if this time we can hear you. Nope, still can't hear you. Janine, let's do this. Sometimes, the only thing I'm gonna say is that every now and then, a few times a year, I'll get someone whose sound inexplicably just doesn't work. And her sound is off. And I don't want you to miss much of the class, but if you can quickly disconnect from the class, restart your Zoom and connect again, it might fix it. Worst case scenario, you might need to restart your computer. So if you have time to do a quick restart of your computer and come back, while I take some more questions, go ahead and do that. I'll try to catch you up to wherever you are, because clearly you have questions, and clearly I'm not going to hear you the entire time that you're here. Okay. All right, and then, but the quick, you did write the question, Janine. You said, what is the wide angle? What is that? Anything under 1 is wider angle, and anything above 1 is zoomed in. 1 is what's considered kind of normal. Okay. All right, so go ahead and try to do a whole restart of your computer and connect again. All right. Oh, she's entering with a different device. Maybe that's a solution. Okay. I'm going to stop my phone share right now. Oh, the last thing I was going to do is the moment you take a picture, when you finally do take a picture, I'm going to take a picture right now. Bing. Then down here, I see a little mini version of that picture. And if I click on that, it takes me into the photo app. Okay, the Photos app. So that's a way to go straight into the Photos app. But it's kind of limited because it only goes into that one photo. So normally what I would do is I would close the Photos app and goes into the Photos app out this way. And then I can see all my photos. And then as you can see here, the last few photos, that one, this one, and that one are all these photos that I just took, all of these during this demo. Okay, so everything from these 2 here that are little mini videos, and then these that are just photos. Let me show you this one. If I click on it, I went into the Photos app, and this is a mini video that I took. And how can I tell? Well, because when you go down here, it says play. Like I'm in my Photos app now, and I just took a little video and I can play it. There it is, play. Now there's not much happening, but see how it's rolling through my video? That's my video. Okay, so that is a 4-second video. And here is a 2-second video. So you can see a little bit of movement. It's not much of a video, but it was me showing you how to use the video mode. Okay. And then over here is regular photo. And here is a live photo. So this is a regular photo. It's just click. But this is a live photo. Remember I told you it's really a video? If you look at it, it's just Boom, that's it. It's like a 1 second video. I was trying to take a picture, but with live mode. So it's truly a 1 second video. Thus, it's equivalent to 30 photos, right? In my computer's memory. Now, when is this useful? And I'm going to go back in to activate it. This is useful when you have, for example, you're photographing little kids or a dog, someone jumping off a rock, those kind of people who can't stay still. And then you might be able to catch them before they close their eyes or open their eyes, that kind of thing. Or if someone is about to jump into the pool and you want to to make sure you capture that exact moment when they're in the middle of the air, stuff like that. But there's another feature that's better for that. And let me show you what that is. I'm going to go back. The last thing that I'm going to show you is the one that I think Molly said she had in her camera, which is the burst. Okay, remember that Molly at the beginning said she had something called a burst, and I said I'll explain what a burst is in a minute. So a burst is when you take a picture. I'm back in the camera app, and you're going to take a picture. And instead of doing a single click, I'm going to show you. A single click would be, bing, there you go. That was a little picture. You might know it. When you hold down and you actually press down. So I'm going to move my camera a little bit so that later you'll see what it is. I'm about to press this button, and I'm going to say now. And I press and I press so long it turned into video. Now it's turning into video. How do you force it? Those two things I just did were little videos instead of bursts. How do you force into a burst now? Huh. It used to be you had to hold down deep in here to get a burst. Now, as you can see, I'm getting a video. Now I've just taken 3 videos, but that's how you used to take a burst. I wonder, I would have to research what in a. Okay, I don't know right now how to tell you how to do a burst. I'll have to research it because it used to be you had to hold tight on this. For better or for worse, you would take tons of photos really quickly. So again, if someone was diving off of a diving board into a pool, you would want to hold that and you maybe take 50 pictures of that moment just by holding down for 1 second. And then when you let go, you had 50 pictures in that moment, and then you could throw away 49 and keep the one where they're right in the middle of the dive, right? So it's great for actions, big action sports, that kind of thing. But I don't know how to trigger it right now on this iPhone 10 because I don't usually use this as a phone. So I'm going to do a research. If anyone knows how to trigger it, let me know. Other than that, when I hold deep down now, instead of having to move to video to do a video, if I stay here and I just hold and press, bing, it turns into a video and it records. And when I let go, it's now a photo. So if I go back into my Photos app now, I have just taken, in this demo, look at all these little videos I just took down there. Tons of little videos when I was trying to actually do a burst. 1 second video, 3 second video, 4 second video. So that's a ton of space. Oh, look, see, they're syncing 5 items to the cloud. That's it. They just went up to the cloud. And when I open up my computer, they should be syncing with my computer and they should be down in my computer again. So in fact, I'm going to show you instantly the moment I did that, and I'm going to show you that the moment that phone did that, there it is. This is my computer that I'm sharing with you now, and here are all the photos I just took. All those photos that I just took, they already I have to synced into my computer, and it happened in that moment that my phone said syncing up, that you saw that message. So that's when they synced up to the cloud, and then the cloud sent them to me. And so now I have switched, and now I am sharing with you guys my computer screen. And remember, these are the photos that I got in my email last week from that yummy Argentine dessert. That's the last thing I had submitted. And then here I have, by the way, this was something. Was it in the iLife class or was it in the photos class that you sent me this one? I think it was Janine, right? No, it was here. Yeah. Oh, you had it on mute when in the Zoom meeting. That is off now. Oh, so you can speak now? Go ahead and say something, Janine, just make sure.
Hi, can you hear me now?
There you are. Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
I figured it out in the settings. Thanks.
Okay, great. You're welcome.
May I
Go
ask
ahead.
the quick question? Okay,
Yeah.
on the 0.5, is that the normal, those little numbers, like the 1 time and the 2
one X is normal. 0.5 is
Okay.
wide. Mhm.
is wide? And then what would 2 point be or 2 be?
You're zooming in. You're beginning to zoom in. Go ahead and move your camera. Put
Okay.
your point to one thing and start moving through them, and you'll see you zoom in. So what does that mean? If you want to take a picture of something that's farther away, you put in on 2.5, and then you have a better picture of the treetop, for example. Would be
Okay.
you see the whole tree on wide angle, some of the tree on one, and then just zoom into the tip of the tree on a zoom. Okay, that's what wide
Right.
angle
Got
is.
it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
All right. I changed the camera settings to use volume up to enable burst, says Mary. Okay, so then I guess the burst has to be enabled now. Thank you for telling me that. Let me see. I'm gonna take volume up. This is volume down. This is volume up. No, this is volume up. I don't, it's not happening for me, so
I think you need to change in camera settings first.
I have to go to the settings. Okay, so I'll go to the settings then and later and see how to do that. But anyway, I keep switching to my phone because I have my phone connected and it wants to upload from my phone. All right, so so now if I go into media types, and this is now I'm on my, by the way, on my Ventura, as again, I said in this class, the only thing that matters is the settings change in Ventura, but for the most part, the computer doesn't change. So here, if I go to my videos, I have all the videos I had before, and suddenly I have all these videos that I just took. Down here is in my videos app, and I can keep them or delete them, and I'm going to actually choose to delete them. But not only that, but if I don't delete them now, remember each one of these photos, each second, this is a 4-second video. Okay, look, I'm going to play this 4-second video. Okay, it's just a 4-second video. And when I click on it, what's going to happen is over here, I'll have a little option to play it. I think I ended up leaving my video settings at 30 HD 30, which is the lowest one. That means that this 4-second video is 30 frames times 4.
Wow.
Right? So each frame is one photograph, right? So 30 times 4 is there's 120 photos.
Wow.
Photographs worth in this one little video. Now I'm just telling you this, and I'm impressing you upon this because how many of you have lots of little snippets of videos that are worth nothing? Or worse, you might have pressed your button to your video and taken 1 whole minute of video. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Because if you take a whole minute of video that's worth it, hey, of course, that's what it's for. But if it's 1 whole minute of video where you were just kind of panning around and then like 3 seconds of it were really good, and then you kept like leaving it on, then you still have, thousands of videos that occupy your phone really quickly. So I would recommend if you're in a situation that's fun, someone singing happy birthday or something like that. Sure, if you want to hold on to the whole time, the happy birthday song is pretty long, right? So maybe consider holding it down and when they're about to blow the candle, but maybe only taking a little bit of the happy birthday song, because how different are happy birthday songs? Unless something really special is happening, right? Consider taking shorter, multiple videos. And then at the end of today, not today, but at the end of this class, I'll be showing you how to put those videos together to make it into a little movie where you snip around little bits and pieces, but all of this is wasted space. So I'm actually going to go ahead and select the first one that I want, and then hold down the shift key and select the last one. And that selects all 5 of these video. And by the way, see how underneath it says image 0058.mov? That MOV is the name of what a video is. Okay. And so I'm going to select them all, click, shift, click, and I'm going to delete them. So I can hit the delete key, or I can, now that they're all selected, do a little right click on one of them and it'll say duplicate, no, delete 6 videos. Okay. So I'm going to delete 6 videos. Delete them from all your devices? Yes, delete. But they're not really deleted. Where are they? they're in my recently deleted. Hold on. This is I haven't used this computer for a while, so it's asking me. So here they are. All my videos are in my recently deleted. So now I still have thousands of photos worth in these snippets of video, and they will sit here for a total of 30 days before they disappear completely. So if I really don't want them anymore, I should go ahead and reselect it and delete them. Now I'm going to leave them here a little bit, but I'm going to get 2 of these, for example, and I'm going to say delete them right now. And I'm going to delete them right now. Permanently, you cannot undo this action. I delete. So 2 of those are completely gone forever from all my devices. And I've left these 4. And these I'm going to let them kind of sit there for a little bit so we can see. You can see that a couple of days ago, I had deleted that one. Last class, I deleted that one. Only that last class was 2 weeks ago. And the week before that, I had deleted that one. So each time we join, you can see that I'm deleting and my things are going down the screen. Now, when we first day of the class, this one still had like, I don't know, 20 days left on it. It's on 1 day left. By the time I come into this tomorrow, if I have not recovered this photo, this one will disappear. But if I do recover it, I have to select it and go, no, I didn't mean to get rid of them. I can just go over here and say recover. If I recover it now, which I will, because I only have 1 day left, if I recover it, if I go delete it again, it starts the whole cycle of 30 days again. Okay, it'll go back to the end of the pile and it'll now take 30 days to delete. Okay, so be careful if you recover things that you really don't want, because they're back onto a 30-day cycle. All right, let me see. I have a question there. When you open your photos, a photo come up as if I did them. Yolanda is asking a question. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if my question. When I open my photos in your laptop or in the iPhone, music and photo comes up as if I did them. How come? All I want is to see the picture. And why did it go into movie mode? Like, I do not know. It's unknown to me. I'm not 100% sure why that would do, but normally the thing that does sound and music is this memories feature.
Has it happened to anybody?
When you open your Photos app, it immediately starts doing photos. Like, what do you have selected here for that?
See, I cannot demonstrate now because it is not doing it right now. But
yeah, of course.
I might have a suggestion.
Yeah.
And that is, are those photos, Yolanda, in an album by any chance? Because sometimes what will happen is they'll go into an automatic slideshow.
Like, yeah, and like right now, you guys, I have this is an example of what she's talking about. You can't hear it because I'm not sharing my sound, but I have music right now playing behind this. Okay. And these are photos from a trip I just took a few months ago over the Christmas break, right? And they are made into a memory, they could have been an album, like Sarah said. So there's 2 ways that you would see them: if you made them into an album, or if you have them as a memory, in which case when you open it, this is what's playing. I never made this. I did not make this little slideshow video, for example. This was made for me by the computer.
Oh, okay.
And there it's over, right? So I'm going to hit escape. So that's what a memory is. But, and Sarah is right, if you have an album that you created yourself, which I haven't shown you yet albums, right? But you could also play an album. So this is an album of mine, but I can play it that same way. These are, and I'm going to teach you guys albums and everything. But if I want to play this, I can, it's, again, you don't hear it, but trust me, there's music. These photos are playing like a video with music. So
yeah,
that's what's happening to you. But it shouldn't automatically start happening unless you left your phone maybe set in that mode. That's the part that I don't understand. But let me explain a little bit more about albums, and then you'll all know what I'm talking about when we get to this place.
Thank you.
So anyway, so I just showed you on the phone how to take all these different media types, right? So videos that I just showed you go into video. And as you can see, most of these videos are sideways videos, so to say. Sideways, wrong-sided. They're upright, which in history, in the past, videos should be like this. Let me hold on to a video. I'm going to select one. Everyone go to your videos and find any videos you have. And this one is what used to be the way we would take videos all the time, if you want, which is sideways. And when I hover over this, by the way, what did I do? I hit the space bar. Remember, when you're here, you want to see the image, you hit the space bar. And then since it's a video, it's a 36-second video, I can play it. I can click play, and this is my video. And it's showing me putting a book away. And this is a little library that I have outside my house that I maintain and hand out videos. And so it's a 36-second video, and it's me not being able to put a photo in my video. So that's the typical way videos were taken. And I was going to say in the past, because all our lives, videos have been sideways, right? Okay, and it's really long, 36, I'm going to stop it right there. 36 seconds, that's like, you know now how many photos that is, right? That's times 30 if I'm taking low quality video each second. Now people are taking videos with their cameras like this, and then so suddenly out of the blue we have these other videos. And so I believe, is this one of the, I had some slow-mo. Yeah, here's an example of a time lapse. Where the clouds and the little flags are moving really fast. That's an example of a time-lapse video. I believe I have another one here. Now they're not called time-lapse because I transferred them from another camera, so the computer doesn't recognize them as time-lapse, but see how the clouds are going really fast? And this says it's only a 5-second video, I believe, a 9-second video, but in reality, I pointed to the cloud for like 30 seconds or for a minute. I don't know. I sat there for a long time pointing to the clouds, and it turned into just a 9-second video, okay? Because it wasn't really, the window wasn't going that fast. That was me pressing the time-lapse mode, all right? And then I believe, do I have the slow-mo one here? Here's a slow-mo. It's a 20-second video, but this is actually happened in only probably 5 seconds. And this is a slow-mo of my little guy doing his first snowboarding. So,
oh, how sweet.
This guy's he's now 15, so this is a while ago. But this all happened, you know how fast these things happen? This happened in maybe 3 seconds. But the video is a 27-second video. And that's because I used the slow-mo button of the video. Okay. So those are those two ones. Now, why do they show here is because I took them with another camera and brought them in here. And when you, like I emailed them myself or something, when you transfer them, I guess that metadata lost that setting, right? And that's why I don't have that there. Those are like the feature kind of things that I wanted to show you. All right. I have some more here are I think this is a time lapse. What is this one? This is a time lapse. These are my chickens. I have chickens in my backyard. And this is like 2 or 3 minutes of photograph shooting them, and they're all eating, and then they're going away. But see how fast they're moving? Again, it's a time lapse, but it's going so fast. And I don't know, anyway, it keeps going. I'm gonna stop it. Okay, so that's time. That's the rest, the rest are just regular videos. Okay. The rest of these, as you can see, these have been taken in like what's traditional video mode. These have been taken in this little up down mode. Okay. what's it called? The portrait mode. And a lot of people now are doing videos like that in social media. So it's become a thing. But a few years ago, you'd be like, who would take a video upright? Well, yep, now it's a thing. People, TikTok, anyone has ever heard of TikTok? All the videos are upright. And TikTok is the thing. Like my oldest kid now is 20. He thinks TikTok is that thing for young kids. And like old people, like young kids go, oh, Instagram, only old people use Instagram and only ancient people use Facebook, right? It just moves. And now young people use TikTok and it's just a couple of years difference. So these things come and go, right? Anyway, okay. I see some hands up before I continue showing the rest. Some questions? Yes, Rosa?
Yeah, Diana, when you speak before about the burnt, I
The
had the same
burst,
problem.
yes.
Yeah, I had the same problem like you. I couldn't do it, and I go to setting. I
Yeah.
put
Mhm.
the button who say in setting camera, the button who say use volume up for burnt. I turn on, and then now I can do it using the.
Okay, so I'm going to go to settings and
Yes.
camera. Let me go to the camera. I haven't, since I don't normally use this camera, because in my phone, I have it set up, but I set it up so long ago that, okay, so where's my camera? Here it is, my camera.
There you got burst.
Is use volume up for burnt. No, up.
Oh, there
up.
it is. Yes, I couldn't see it. Use volume up for burst. So I'm
You
going to turn this feature on. Okay, boom. There you go. And now I'm going to go to the camera and I'm going to take a burst with the volume up. So I'm going to click and go. There you go. I'm taking pictures and I've taken just 26 pictures right now. There we go. I let go. I just took 26 pictures. And in fact, if I go to my camera, and it was a second, right? But if I go to my photos, then look at that. I am syncing a whole bunch of stuff up. Oh my God, they already made it to my computer. That's crazy. That's so quick. They're in my computer already. But over here, it shows us one photo. So I'm in my phone right now, right? Oh, and if I go to my photo, into my photos app, I just see one thing right there. And when I click on it, it looks like it's one photo, but look up here. It says there's a burst of 35 photos. Okay, that's what it's telling me this is. It's a burst of 35 photos. So if I want to click and figure out, see which one of these I want to keep on my phone, I could do it, or on my computer, I could do it. So since this is really 35 photo, really in my photo, it looks like one, and I don't even know it's a burst until I click on it. And there it says 35 photos. If you're not paying attention, you might think it's one. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the edit in my phone, right? And here it, no, I guess I can only do it in my computer. No, yeah, here it is. I'm sorry. It wasn't edit. It's down here. I apologize. It's in select. If I say I didn't mean to do that, and the perfect example is some years ago when I was in when my mom was here, I gave her the camera and I said, here, can you please take a portrait of me and my husband on the pier? And so she said, sure. And she took a couple of photos. Next thing I know, when I went to pick it up, she had held down the play button, because in the past it was on the play button. And I had like 75 photos of us, right? Even though she only took 2 or 3, because each time she kept holding it down. So this makes more sense, because now it has to be purposeful, that you have to click on the up or down on the up volume instead of on the start. But anyway, say I want to get rid of a lot of those on my phone, I can go here to the select. And here it shows me each one of those 35 pictures that I just photographed, right? It's like, it looks like a little video, but it's just 35 photographs that I just went through. So I could just say, oh, I just only want this one, select this one. And then I say done, and should I keep all the rest or keep only one? If I see keep only one, then all those 35 turn only to this one. I'm going to cancel because I'm going to show you this again in the camera in case you in the computer. So I'm going to cancel and keep all 35. Okay. But I'm going to show that to you in a minute later when I go back to my computer. So thank you. So anyone who wants to be able to shoot photo bursts, it's awesome. I remember I went hiking with a friend of mine and her kid kept jumping off rocks and she used these bursts. And then you throw everything else away, but you end up with 3 photos of your kid in the air, right? It's pretty cool when you're doing it on purpose. Otherwise, it just fills your camera with photos. And it's a great idea that they moved it to the up volume. I'm going to switch back to my computer, but meanwhile, yes, Sarah, you have a question?
Yeah, if you by mistake, okay, shot a video and it was too long and you didn't know that it was, how can you edit it to make it smaller and that you just want a certain part?
Yeah. We'll talk about it's not the right time, but it's not the wrong question, because the last day of class, usually I've been taking more than one day, but since we missed a day, this time it'll be only last day. I'm going to talk about how to edit videos. Okay. So for better or for worse, it is part of this class, just not today. So ask me that again the last day of class. But the quick answer to that, just as a warning, you can edit them so that you see only the 3 seconds, but that file is still huge. You're just like opening only the vision of a little bit of it. So you can't completely cut off the stuff you didn't want. You only reduce the view to only the 3 seconds. So be careful, because you have to go to a different app to actually completely get rid of stuff. Okay. But your phone, your iCloud library still keeps the entire thing. All right. So guys, here's my computer now. Okay. Back to my computer. I just shot a burst and here's that burst. Now, how can I tell it's a burst? First of all, because here on the media types, now I have a burst that I didn't have before. Remember, I didn't have it and now I have it. There's a burst. The other way to tell is because if you look at here, I don't know if you can tell, but in the art of it, this is a square. And this one has like little lines. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's a minor difference, but it's like it's got many little layers behind it, almost like it have a bit of depth. So if I look at it, I can tell it's a burst. But other than that, there's no other real easy visible way to tell that it's a burst. So the best way to discover which are bursts is over here. And some of you might go to burst and discover you have thousands of bursts that you didn't even know from the time when it was press the play button, right? It's harder to make them by mistake now, as we have seen. So now here's the burst. So once again, I don't even know, it says one photo. It says one photo to start with. But if I click it and I hit the space bar, then it says make a selection. This would only happen if I have a burst, right? So it seems to be that this is the one photo, but if I click on make a selection, this is kind of what I did on the phone. It just said select. Then here it is. Here it is showing me every one of those photos that I kept pressing my volume while I was moving it around. Look at how many photos I took. It's actually 70 photos. Why did it say 35 before when it actually says 70 here? That's interesting. On the phone, it said it was, I need to go back and see that. On the phone, it said, oh no, it said 70 photos. Did I say 35? It was 70 photos on my phone too. Anyway, interesting. So I took 70 photos in that little bit of time that I pressed when I was talking, right? So in this case, all these photos are, junk. But if my kid had been jumping off a rock, I might go like, oh, there it is. That's the one where he's in the air, right? That's the good one. Like I move back and forth and I go, that's the one I want to keep. So then I click and I select that one. And then I might go, oh, this is where he's landing on the ground. He's smiling. I'll select this one. So I'll go click on this one. So I'll basically select here he's putting on a weird face because he's in the air. And then here he's about to jump and he looks like he's, doing this funky thing and it's funny. And I'm going to keep that one. So now I've chosen 3. So I click select on that one that's grayed out and this one that's grayed out and this one that's grayed out. The rest I don't want, right? So say that this is that kind of burst where I really find 3 good ones. I select those 3 by clicking on this little check mark, and this will be because how? Because I've been going back and forth on all of these, and I've been finding them, and I go, oh, that's the one. That's the one where he's really smiling. Or if it's a baby, oh, this is the one where his eyes are finally open, right? Or something like that. And when you like the one that you like, you click select. Cool. When you're done, I used to have 70. I go up here and I say done. Would you like to keep the other 67 photos in this burst? And I'll go, keep everything. Then my photo turns into 67 photos in my library. I'm going to say, no, keep only the selection. So I'm going to keep only the selection. And then when I go to my library, that becomes 1, 2, and 3. It's not a burst anymore. See how the burst is gone here? There's no more burst because now it's 1, 2, and 3. And this would be before he was about to jump, in the air, and when he landed, like if those are the 3 that I kept. Does that make sense? See how there's no more burst here? I've deleted the burst. So I've deleted those 67 and I'm left only with the 3 that I selected. Now, had I said yes, keep all 67, then I would have 67 photos here and no more bursts. So you should go to your bursts, which are taking up a ton of space, open them up and just choose the 1 or 2 or 10 photos that you want from that burst. Sometimes you want a ton. Or 1, because it was never meant to be a burst. And a lot of the times when people take a burst, they don't know they're taking a burst in the past. So then the first few, the camera is moving, and then the end, the camera is moving, and there's only one in the middle. That's actually the one that you thought you were trying to take, and that's the only good one. And you can throw away the rest of them and not have so many photos that you don't need. All right, Molly, you have your hand is up. I can't hear you.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so how do you get rid of those junky ones? Does it go into the delete area and you have to wait 10 days, or could you just get rid of it?
Let me, each time I go into my deleted, I have to sign in because since this isn't technically my computer set up, no, in my deleted area, see again, this image that is showing me a ton.
Yeah.
In my deleted area, I have all of these in one. So if I delete this, I'll be deleting 67 photos, but they show up as one. Okay. So this is the one that I can tell there's all those bursts. But if I go up there, now it's like if it didn't say, it says delete items, but if I click on the bursts over here, then it says delete one burst. But it didn't say delete one burst when I didn't have the burst selected. If I had this one, it just is delete one photo, right? But if I click on a burst, it says delete one burst. And I know because I just did it, that there's 67 photos in there.
Oh, it's combined. It combined to one burst when you do that.
Yeah, because the burst is all 67 photos.
Okay.
So if I delete this, I will delete 67 photos.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, great question.
If you want to delete it permanently, you just don't want it there completely.
If I don't want to hear it at all, I should now delete it from here. And I will, so I'll do that. I'm going to delete the burst. Do you want to delete? It says one photo. Okay. The computer still considers it one photo, but we know there's many and we can tell, but when I say delete that one burst, you really want to delete that? I'll say delete. It's gone. I have just deleted 67 photos.
Permanently. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. And the burst from here is gone. And all I have at the end of my set is these 3, which are the 3 specific ones that I saved, right? From that burst. Now I'm actually going to go, oh, this first one in the end wasn't so good. And that one wasn't so good either. So I'm going to delete those 2. Now these are considered 2 separate photos at this point. They're not part of a burst anymore. And then I'm left with the one that was good from the whole burst. Okay. And if I go back to the recently deleted, those are now individuals. They don't show up as burst. The ones that I left as selected show up as individual photos now. So you guys go ahead, and if you have any bursts from the past, go ahead and get rid of them, or get rid of all the stuff you don't want from the burst, because that's a ton of, like, some of you go to bursts and you have thousands of bursts because you know, it used to be so easy to mistake them. But if you've had a newer phone for quite a while, that's not been such an issue. Cool. What time is it? Looking at my Looks like my energy's fine.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, able to keep going. Okay. Not done. I was looking at the time to see how we were doing with timing, but we're fine. All right, so guys, how about before I continue with the computer for a little bit, how about everyone, it's not break time yet, but can everyone just take a few minutes to, not a few minutes, a few seconds, just stand up, stretch, you know, move your body around a little bit, wake yourself up, because, you know, oh, do a little stretch if you don't want to, or do a couple of turns on your, get off your chair and stretch your legs. And keep going. So funny because I always intend to do this, but I don't. And I was doing evaluations of classes this week, different teachers' classes, and I came upon a class where the teacher's really good at doing that every like 20 minutes or so. And I thought, I need to remember that is such a good thing to do. It helps everyone kind of come back refreshed. And she gives like a literally 1 minute. It's like 50, 60 seconds, but and then she starts again. So that's a good one. All right. So everyone who's here, take a seat again. And thank you, by the way, Leon, for your delivery. Anyway, so let's keep going. I'm going to share.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to share from this other computer again, and let me see. I think there were some questions. Nope, those were the same. You got my setting. Okay, so then no, that's not just that married. Okay, okay. Here we go. Library. So now you know all the different media types. Again, the only point of these being here is to help you find stuff, right? Because in the end, if you know you just took a great picture of yourself with your friend and you took it as a selfie, meaning you used the front camera, then there you go. There's your selfies, right? Oh, look at that. Here's my last picture with my mom from 2 years ago, last time I was with her. Okay. So these are selfies. So instead of having to scour through my entire library to find that photo, if I remember it was a selfie, I just go there. So that's all this really is. Oh, let me go again to live photos. This is an example of live photos. If I go to live photos, I see them. And these are the ones that if I click, let me go to this one, for example, and select to see it, it was barely noticeable there. It was not even useful, but it was just this little like blink. And there it is, see? Okay, so I want it to do its video. I have to hold on to this live to see what that little moment was. So let me show you again. Anything that says it's a live photo, like if you go to live photos and you click on this to see it, it just sits there still. To see that liveness of it, I have to go to the word live. That's it. See how it's a mini video? Now, in this case, it's kind of useless, right? But look at this one. This was a Christmas or two ago, and that's the live photo. See how useful it is in that situation? It was a picture. Okay, that's my little niece. All right. So in that sense, that live photo was really cool because had I just taken a picture of this moment, I might have caught her about to jump or already in the pile. But because I took a live photo, then I got that moment. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because how many of you, so that's the really good use of that's why I say with kids or with dogs, it's a good idea. Here, my dog is probably not doing much, but here's my dog. Let me see this live photo. So there, he looked away and back, and I might have taken the picture otherwise right then. But now I have him looking at me. Why? Because it was a live photo. So I always say live photos are good for dogs and for kids. I'm sure there's other reasons why they would be good, but that's my my limited thought of, oh, was that a live photo? So there, I caught her in the bad moment, right? But anyway, so let me go back over here. Now I'm gonna actually, I'm stuck in this mode where it's not coming down. Huh. I'm having a moment of my photo. If I can't, my computer, my Photos app is crashing. How interesting. Not crashing, but it's frozen. Let me open it up again. Didn't crash per se, but it froze. Okay, let me share again. All right, so that's the good use of live photos. That said, once you take it, you can't get rid of it. You can't, you know, turn it into something it's not. So yeah, let me go back to one that I might not want. Okay, so here's one that I don't want. So here's an example of a typical live photo. It looks kind of weird and moved because you're still moving the camera. You didn't notice that it was live, so you just clicked and went. And so many times your live photo might just be a whole bunch of blur because you were just thinking that it was 1 second. Okay, so you might have a lot of those, in which case just, you know, go ahead and get rid of them. So this would be a good one to just delete. Now, the last thing that some of you guys said, I believe Mary again, is she had something here that said animated. Does anyone else have something in here that says animated? Oh, and Mary, was it Mary Uffling? Did I pronounce that correctly? Is who said that? Yeah. One of the Marys and said that. I'm sorry that unless I see your last name, I'm going to the chat history to see who said that. Well, it's not showing up in my history. Because I connected to this history and the other. Yeah. Why would it not be in my history? Okay. I connected and disconnected from this computer, so the history, the chat becomes smaller. But anyway, all right. So let me go and I believe I'll show you the animated in a second, but let me hold on a second because I'm actually
Okay, binder. Launchpad. Custom photos.
here we go. So I'm going to show it to you from the other computer, or should I show it from this computer? Yeah, I'll show it to this computer. Okay. So last thing about about these live photos. Let me grab this one. This is the live photo where if I hover over it, she's looking good and then she ends up sticking out her tongue. So I don't want that. I only want the first part of it, right? So how would I choose only the better part of it? So this is the beginning of editing a photo. I'm going to teach you how to edit photos regularly, just regular editing. But since I was teaching you live photos, I want to show you how to edit a live photos, because this is where you also have, you know, maybe 70 photos per photo, right? Or 30 photos per second. So do you really want to stick with so many seconds that are unnecessary, so many photos that are necessary? But when you come in here, it doesn't show up as many of them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. as an example. So this is the first this is the first time I'm showing you some actual editing. So I'm gonna hit the space bar to see it big. Let me go backtrack. Editing is something you would normally do to a photo to fix it, right? You might want to crop it, or you might want to darken it or lighten it, or try to get some more focus or turn it into a black and white. There's all these reasons to edit a photo, and we're going to do more of that in a minute. But this is how you would edit a live photo to get rid of all the stuff you don't want of that live photo. Okay, so it's the kind of editing we're going to do. So I'm going to hit the space bar, and there's my edit. Okay, so again, I don't see an edit right now here. I have to hit the space bar and hit edit. The other way is to double click, and then you hit the edit, right? So those are different ways. Now, the last way, now let me show you actually what edit is. When I hit the edit, just watch this piece. When I hit edit, see how everything kind of went black and went into this mode? This is my edit mode. I'm going to leave it for a second. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to say done. Now I can also, oh, I forgot. I was trying to do rotate. That's rotate. I was trying to, I'm not using the right cut. There's a shortcut that I'm forgetting to go straight into edit mode. All right. So I'm in edit mode. How did I get here? Is by clicking on that edit button. And then now that I'm here, down at the bottom, I can see all the frames that went into that live photo. See there?
Yeah.
And it's not as many as a photo. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 photos, not as much as an actual video. It's like a half a second of a video. Now, if I look at this, you see how it keeps moving, and here's where she sticks out her tongue, and that's where, and so maybe I want to keep the whole movement, but I want to choose one that's my key photo. See how it says every time I select one, it says make key photo. Right now, the key photo is this one because it has a little dot on top. But key photo would be if I don't want to get rid of all of them and I just want to keep one. So I go over here to the one where she is smiling but still not sticking out her tongue. And I'm discovering none of them really, she always has like this semi-closed eyes. And then by the time she's smiling better, she's already sticking out her tongue. So I'm like, I don't really find a good key photo here. Now, knowing Marta, she was one of my Italian host students that lives with us during the year to go to school. She was doing this on purpose. She wanted that, right? So then in this case, this is a good key photo for her. It was a thing she was doing with her sister, whatever she was. So this would not be a good photo of her. So why choose that one? But say that this one was good. I can select this one and then say make key photo, and see how now there's a dot right there because I turned that one into the key photo, right? So if I did that, now in this case, I can make this one again be the key photo, and that's the one that by default was the one, and that stayed there. Now, if I decide that I don't, so say that I choose this one as the key photo, I could then decide to not have it be a live photo anymore. I could go here to the live. It's not showing, it's not sharing. But when I go to live, you guys do that and it says loop, bounce, or long exposure. So this is the other use. This is the other use for a live photo. Since it's really an animation, an animation. An animation is that many photos put together. That's what it's an animation. Then I have the choice to make it turn into a little loop, which is that one, or into a bounce, or into a long exposure. So I'm going to go ahead and show you loop. So basically, this is a loop. She continuously sticks out her tongue, right? Now that is an animation. of this photo. If I say done, then whenever I go over here, it doesn't say live photo anymore. It says loop. And now look what appeared over here. Suddenly I have something called animated that I didn't have before. I've made an animation of that live photo because I made it loop. Let me go back to other live photos and say that this one, I edit. And instead of that one, I say loop. Then when I hover over the word loop, it keeps doing that again and again and again. If instead I said bounce, it's going to go back and forth, which is kind of funny. And I chose this one because if you're sticking your tongue in and out, it's not funny, but there you go. That's what bounce means. It plays it back and forth, back and forth. If I were to say done now in my animated, I have, that's going to show up in my animated in a second. Why didn't the bounce? There it is. So now I have two animated. I have the loop and I have the bounce. Does that make sense? But I have to do that only out of live photos. I can't do any of those without a live photo. So that's a loop and that's a bounce. Now let me use this one and go to edit. And now the last choice is long exposure. And I'm going to say done. The long exposure is kind of weird. It kind of does this thing where it changes the set. Let me explain what a long exposure is. A long exposure is when you want something to look like it's moving, right? Back to photography. Have you ever seen water in a waterfall where it looks sharp? The water is about to fall. That's a short exposure. The water is frozen. On the other hand, have you ever seen water that looks like it's a stream in a photo? That's a long exposure. Someone photographed that with a long exposure on their camera. And then the water, like the rocks around it look sharp, but the water looks like it's a flow, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the long exposure. So in this movement, by turning it into long exposure, it makes the movement part of it be fluid and fuzzy. It doesn't match this photo, okay? Because it's not like it does a good, like it needs, I'm going to go back. Let me see if I have any of these. I'm going to turn this off. And let me see if I can go over here and find one of these that might benefit from the long exposure. I should take a picture, but I don't have any here that would benefit from the long exposure. This is a one at night. Maybe this one could work with long exposure. Let me see what it would do. There we go. That's an example. This is a photo that is just at night, right? And let me just show you what this is. So it's Christmas parade, I guess. And this is my son when he was little at school and they were doing a parade and they had lights. And so when you go live, it's just a second of night light. But when you turn that into long exposure, it combines all of that and gives you this like moment of lights, right? As if I had with my camera taken a long exposure. So that could be an effect you want. So that's what it is. It doesn't become like a video anymore. It just comes with all of them combined. That's what long exposure would mean. The best example is always, or if you photograph a car moving quickly and then you would see it going zoom like it's moving. So that's what long exposure is. All right, so now I'll say done to that one. And then when I go to back here to animated, soon it'll appear here because it's been animated. Well, it's not been animated. Long exposure isn't animated, so I'm not sure if it'll pop here because it's actually a still version of that photo more than an animated version of that photo. See now see there, that's the photo it's showing me. Whereas before it was showing me him still. So that wouldn't go into animated. Okay, so those are all the things that you can do with a live photo as to why you would want them. So again, when someone said, do you want a live photo? Well, why in the world would I like a live photo of my glasses? Like, it's useless. But did I want a live photo of these moments where there's actually movement happening? Yeah, it might have been useful for that. Okay, so in this case, I don't need to keep a live photo version of it. Like, why would I want a live photo version of it, right? So, you know, so I can't, you know, do anything about it. It is a live photo though. It's not like the how do you call it? The the bursts where you can get rid of the rest of them. So say that I don't need them because there's nothing different here. This is just my frames, right? Choose one that's my make key photo, and I can just turn off the live part of it from here. And now it just becomes one photo. But the thing is, this is turn onable and offable again. So it's not like you got rid of all of those, right? You still have a live photo where you're not seeing the other frames. Does that make sense? I choose which one I think is the best one. Like, for example, and she's sticking her tongue out, I might choose the one where she's not. And then I turn off the live photo part of it. Now it won't bounce around. It won't give me the live photo. You might want to do that to those that you made by mistake. But if you ever want to edit it again, it really is still a live photo and you can always turn this on again. So it's not like it got rid of the other 10 photos. Does that make sense? So you're kind of stuck with them. At most, as I said, you've turned it off, but you're stuck with them. Okay. Because it was shot that way. So you have, of each one of these, this is live photo, you have like, you know, 10 to 20 photos of each one. All right. Okay. Any questions about live photos or anything else that I've already shown before we move into new stuff? I'm looking at the time to see, because I'll take questions about what we just did. And I see Molly has her hand up.
Yeah.
Anything that we already did. If it's something new, we're going to take a break first, and then we're going to start on something new. So yes, Molly.
Yeah. I have under live photos, and most of it is just still photos. And I don't know where to find live photos. Does it have a little insignia on it to find live photos on it?
Well, do you have under media types the thing that says live photos?
Yeah.
If you don't, that means you don't have any. Do you see under media types? Do you see a choice for live photos?
Yes, I do.
That's it. These are your live photos. There's no little insignia like you're looking for. No, all you know is that they're under live photos. And the only way you know they're a live photo is if you select it and press play, you'll see that it says live there. And that, okay, that's how you will know it's a live photo. But there's no other marking that tells you that it's a live photo. Does that make sense? So this, if I hit live,
okay,
then it goes away. Okay.
So
that's
live photo is from the burst, or is it?
No, it's from your camera having that little
yeah, mine is
circle.
on. The circle is on. So that means when I take photos, then there's a possibility that it will be live.
If it's on, all those photos are live photos, which means each photo is actually taking up about, you know, how many of these? Goes back and forth. About 20 photos. Each one is about 20 photos worth.
So it'd be best to keep that off.
If it may, like this photo, it's live photo. What does it do? Is there any point in it being live? Look at the video of it.
No.
0 point in it being live. All it's doing is it's taking a bunch of space in my camera. So the only time it makes sense, as I said, is when there's some movement that's useful.
That's
right.
Cute.
Other than that, it's no point. But you can't really get rid of those extra live photos, so you're kind of stuck with them. So I would recommend turning it off and only turning it on when you're going to do something that has some kind of movement where you might take advantage of this. But if you forget to turn it on and off, then leave it always on. As long as your phone has a lot of space and your iCloud a lot of space, who cares? But remember, so if you take 10 regular photos or one live photo, that occupies the same amount of space. So if you take 100 live photos, that's 10 times as much space as 100 regular photos would take. So, you know, some of you who are whose cloud storage and everything is becoming very full, consider that you might have way too many cloud photos, and then come to these and go, well, I still think this is a great photo, I don't want to get rid of it. Then you're stuck with it. But if you have a photo that, why in the world do I have it, then get rid of it, and then you won't have to have an extra live. Like this live photo is useless. So then I might as well just delete it. Right click and hit delete photo, or hit your delete key and get rid of it from your devices if it's truly useless, because then I just got rid of like 20 photos, right?
Very good. Thank
So, all right. Yes. Jackie, again,
Oh,
questions,
thanks.
anything? Hold on. Raise your hands if there's questions about stuff that we want to refresh what we just did, because we're going to move on to something else when we come back. Okay. Yes, Jackie.
You just answered my question, so I'm good. Thanks.
Oh, good. Yay.
Yay.
Sarah.
Yeah, and this is something probably, you know, during the break, because what happened is I started to, you know, have everything all nicely done. And then I went into Google, and now I supposedly am supposed to put all my bloody photos into Google, and I can't get back to the regular way I used to see them. Like I could edit them, you know.
I don't know why you're in Google. I think you have it connect. Some people, Google, as usual, is intelligent, is trying to do things for you. And when you connect to Google, Google says, oh, do you want to put these photos up in Google? Because Google has a thing called Google Photos too.
Right.
Once you connect that, every time you connect it, your Google's gonna go, oh, should I grab your photos? So it's trying to grab your photos. If you don't want that to happen, you need to go to Google and find out how to disconnect that automatic setting you have. At this point, just turn off your browser so that Google goes away. And then during, after break, when you come back, hopefully you'll be back in the Photos app. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks.
You're welcome. So basically Google has a thing called Google Photos, which you pay for also once you go over a certain amount of space. So if you're paying for iCloud, why also pay for Google, or use Google, but not iCloud? Make a choice. But if you're a Mac user, I would recommend staying within the whole iCloud thing, because you have all these other advantages. Google, it takes your photos up to your phone, to the internet, but it doesn't then distribute it amongst all your other devices. So one over the other, I would prefer iCloud, and it has many more capabilities that have to do with Apple. That helps with all these devices. But yeah, if you ever did send them up to Google Photos, then Google Photos, each time it sees you accessing your photos, will go, ooh, should I take all these up to Google, right? And it's trying to absorb them. All right. All right. So I don't see any more questions about this stuff that we already did. So it's 11:01. Good timing. I can figure this one out. Let's be back at 11:16. Okay. I'll put that in the thing. 11:16 a.m. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Have a good break.
Okay, open new window. And then I want to go into preferences. Let's see, preferences. Into photos. View photos. I see view. I see view library. Mm-hmm.
For application.
Memories.
Tomorrow morning, in the morning when leaving, let me see if I'm okay.
Okay, that.
Tomorrow morning, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday morning we're leaving, right? Back home.
Hmm.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning. That's it.
Mhm.
Yes, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday for the church. No.
No, I don't want that. Mhm.
This week,
Okay, this is great.
Wednesday. Thursday. Friday.
Done. Edit. Just. Finish it. Good, done. Where's this gonna go? Where's this gonna go? Hi, dear. I was going to call you, and I'm right in the middle of my class. Bye. So we're going to do Kathmandu. We're going to do memory. Okay. English first. So. See photos. See photo. Erase. Deleted. Deleted. Okay. Edit. Years. Okay.
Wednesday morning. And Friday morning. No. Wednesday night. Tuesday night. Thursday, Friday,
11 photos. View. View albums. Sharing.
what's the time?
Okay.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Videos.
Friday.
All right. So
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
okay. This.
Wednesday,
This.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday,
Delete.
Maybe something you can train to come this way. And maybe it's gonna have to come from this level, so you don't have anything there yet. Those are your thoughts.
Okay.
Maybe something you can train to come this way. And maybe it's gonna have to come from this level, so you don't have anything there yet. Those are your thoughts.
Okay. Save. Two. More. Photo and markup, added extensions. All right.
I mean, Carrero.
Add to let me do that. All right, view. All right. I don't want it. Bookmark. Garden. Channel. Tools. Websites. Garden map. Oh, God. Hmm. Photos. View. Albums. View. Photos. Memories. Mhm. I want to delete this.
Go ahead. And I was talking all this time and I hadn't turned on the sound. Show me signs of life. I was like, Pied Piper is calling, and if you can't hear me, what's the point? I should probably put on some music. The other day, my kids were reminding me that in kindergarten, when they had to pick up, everyone was like, something like, it's time to pick up, or something like that. I should have some music come to turn on to say, it's time to come back. All right.
You should always sing 100 bottles of beer on the wall.
You know, whatever it takes. The dulcet tones of my voice today will not be very dulcet. In fact, they will be kind of raspy and okay. So share my screen. And here we go. So a quick little visit through a couple more of these, and then we'll start to make our own thing. So I'm going to now, oh, by the way, remember what I said? Just a reminder that all the live photos that two of them I turn into animated by doing the loop and the bounce. And I said the long exposure one show up here. It surprised me to see that suddenly I have something called long exposure. Like I hadn't noticed. So it shows up. What's long exposure? Well, it was that live photo that I chose live exposure for. So that there's always something here that shows up. Anyway, I'm going to close this right now. And again, I use this little arrow here to collapse or expand. And I'm going to just visit a couple more things up here that I want to explain. The first one is the one that Molly, no, was it Yolanda, when she opened her phone, that it automatically played music and video. So that's this memories thing. Now, this is the one that I cannot demo too well, but I did kind of, let me explain why. For memories to work well, it's automatic. Your computer has to have a lot of photos, right? To be able to go back and create memories for you. And it's something that Apple does, where it looks at all your library, and it looks for places or things or times where there might be a sequence of things that it can show you back as a memory. And anyone of you who does social media, you've noticed that Facebook does that sometimes too. It'll say, oh, things that happened in your last year. Apple will do that. Things that happened in January, things that happened when you were in this place or another. So for the most part, when I try to demo memories, there's not much for me to show. But this time I purposely put in some photos of this trip that we did in January. So the first time ever, I didn't do this, but there's enough photos of one place to have an actual memory. And I did that also with another trip I took to LA. So I didn't do anything. I did not do this at all. Apple looks at my photos and goes, ooh, there's, I don't know, 20 photos of the same area-ish. That must be a trip. So it puts them together. And in this case, it calls them by the place that I was in, right? So if I look at this, it goes, oh, you have a memory here of your trip to Nevada to Mexico. And if I go here and I go, oh, sure, show that to me. When I double click, it will open up and show me the photos that I noticed that in that trip, I had my phone set on RAW all the time. So all of them are RAW. And it even keep going down, it'll show me where these photos were taken. So it's kind of like a map of the trip that I took. And then if I keep going down, it just shows me other memories, right? So basically, if I scroll down by double clicking on it, it shows me more stuff. But if instead I just want to see that memory, I can press play right here. Actually, let me stop my share so I can share again with sound so you guys can see the sound, because otherwise when I share normally, the sound doesn't play. So here, so now I'll go ahead and say, okay, play. And I'll, let me just, can you hear that? Can you hear that now? Okay, so I didn't put that music in there either. It's just the computer, Apple, putting music and sound and making a little video which says looks like it's going to be how long? 49 minutes long, depending on how many pictures. I'll press play of my trip. Anyway, I'm going to stop it because you get the feeling, right? And I can screw, it's basically a video of the highlights. Now, in this case, I loaded these photos into this sample. In my real trip, I actually have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of photos of that trip. Here, I just chose a couple that would be different enough so that I could show you like a map, right? I chose a few of each place so that you could see how that works. But what Apple's gonna do is it's going to collect them like this. And if I had, like in my real trip that I have so many places, it doesn't say Nevada to New Mexico. It just has one for Nevada, one for, I have so many photos that it doesn't make this entire memory. Do you know what I mean? Because here I only put whatever, 30 photos, but in the real one, it might make me one for the Grand Canyon, one for the, you know, Mesa Verde, one for whatever, because I have so many photos of each. But in this case, since those are the photos it has, it goes, oh, this must be a trip. Now, it did the same thing because suddenly it figures, oh, you're in Manhattan. That's different than normal. And so if I click on this one and I press play, there's my, oh, see how it said downloading? It moved them up from, anyway, so this is the same thing, but from Manhattan. Again, music that I didn't choose. So these are kind of slideshows and of videos. Now, how can I make that myself to choose the photos I want to choose? Because when you have a bunch of photos, you might have one that you like, one that you hate, one that like, I don't want to look that way. They're all chosen by Apple. And you might have a photo that you never wanted to show in there. So if you want to make this yourself, we have to make this as a project. And I'm going to show you that not today, but you can make a project where you choose the 20 best photos of your trip. You put them together as a little slideshow and you do this exact same thing yourself. And you choose the music that you want yourself instead of having Apple choose from your photos. Because again, I kind of put these in here to show you, but if it were to really choose the photos I had, I probably have one when I'm looking all like, and one good because I didn't edit the photos. And then suddenly I don't want a video where I'm having good and bad photos, right? So these are great. And you need to have enough photos of something. Otherwise it just goes Santa Barbara, right? And it just puts together a bunch of photos of August and Santa Barbara and they might be really disjointed, but it's one that it invented, right? Or this one here, and here's the one that I wanted to show you, Santi over the years. So how does it know who Santi is? Santi is my oldest child, Santiago. How in the world can it make a memory of Santi if the rest were location based, right? But in this case, it says Santi over the years. I'm going to press play to this one and have it show me. And when I go in there, it starts playing. And so on and so forth. And yeah, and truly Santi is on all of those, right? Where did this one? I'm going to mute Sarah. So where did this come from? How does the computer know who Santi is? Or this is Joaquin, my youngest one for that matter. Like, how does it know? Well, that comes from the people feature. If you set up the people feature, then the computer knows that whenever it sees that face, I called that one Santi. My son's name is Santiago, he's Santi. So it will fling together in one memory all the pictures I have of this one person. So if you scroll through your memories, if you've set up the people feature, and I'm going to show you that next, then you might have something like this pop up. Or this is my husband, I guess he can do that same thing too. Or there's a year in review. These are all automatic ones that the computer will make for you. So look through yours and see if there's any that are interesting. If you find one that's just like, oh my God, I can't live without this one, for example, I can label it favorite. So if I go over here to favorite memories, I only have this one set up as a favorite memory. Now, why does this matter? Because these kind of change all the time. It's not like they'll always stay there. And if I find one that I really like, then I can favorite it. So I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to favorite. Like if I give there is a way to favorite. I'm trying to remember. Add at the very bottom, add to the favorite memories. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I added the Santi one to my favorite memories, right? So when I go back into the memories mode, I can see all the memories that Apple prepared for me or favorite memories. And now I have Santi and I have Santa Barbara. I'm going to go back to memories and say, this one here is just loose photos. I don't want it. That's one of those photos. So later, when I come back here in a few months, if I have a lot of photos, 2 of these might be gone. 3 of these might be gone. If you treasure them because they seem to be really cool, then call them favorites and then they won't be gone. They'll sit here. Does that make sense? Now, where else do you see this? On your phone, you'll notice when you, I don't know if you guys notice this, but when you open your phone, at least my phone right now, I have it set up in a way that my real phone, not this one, so it's not happening, that on my main screen, on like my front screen, it'll show me memories. Like the moment I open my phone, it says memory. It'll make a little memory of something and I can say, ignore, I don't want to see them, or I can click on it and say, oh, I wonder what this memory it made me. And it's kind of like, oh yeah, I remember when, you know, such and such a thing happened. And you might think that's intrusive and you hate it, you can turn that off, or you might go, this is kind of cool because now and then I see something I had forgotten had happened because the computer picked it up and shows it to you, right? All right. So it's nothing you have control of. The only control you have over this is whether you make it a favorite or not. Other than that, it's not like you can make a memory happen, right? So this is completely automatic. So there's nothing more to teach you than that, or to, you know, I'm going to teach you more stuff now, how to make certain things happen so that memories. And now, if you didn't have your places turned on, like if you didn't have your feature for places turned on in your photos, then it can't make memories based on places, right? Because it won't know what places those things were taken of. So if some of you go, I don't have any, well, check and see if you don't have place stamp on your metadata on your camera, then it wouldn't make memories based on places. Then it might just make memories based on month of June, month of May, right? Because that's really the only information it has. All right, before I continue to people, Anna, your hand is raised.
Yeah, I noticed in mine the other day that when you have faces or people, doesn't recognize some over the years. It kind of separate me in different places when not put it all together. Is that possible?
In places?
No, in people, in people.
Well, I haven't taught people yet, so let me just teach people and then we'll see what it does or doesn't do, okay?
Okay.
So hang on. Let me let Sarah in. By the way, I should have deleted some of these in order for this class to start. Okay, never mind. When I start this class, I tend to have no people here so that it's easier to do, but now I still have some to do. Okay, so here we go. I went to people, and as you can see, I have certain faces and I have certain names, right? If you've never used people, yours might be blank. If you used it before, you might have a lot of faces without names underneath, right? Or you might have faces and names. Who knows where yours is at right now? Let me take one more question since it might be about this, and then I will explain it. Yes, Mary?
Sorry, it's about the shared memories or the what's it called? Sorry, the for you memories. If you do save it like as and you say favorite, save it, does it duplicate the storage space? So now you have doubles?
Great question. No, not at all.
Great. Okay, thanks.
And in fact, yeah, not at all. And in fact, I will show you why once I explain albums. This is kind of like an album. So yeah, good question. No, it doesn't. So you don't waste space, and it doesn't at all. No. Perfect. Perfect question. All right. A lot of the times the questions are based on how much space am I taking with all of these fancy features? None. None. All these fancy features I've been showing you take no space. It doesn't duplicate your videos. It just, from your library, which has every single thing you've ever shot, it grabs anything that's a video, and when you click on videos, it just shows you the videos, but it's not that it duplicated them, right? It just sources itself from the metadata. Remember the metadata, which is all of this information of that I click on the eye. This is the metadata of the photo, right? And when you shoot this one, it knows that it's a video. It's a .mov. versus a photo. Like if I go to regular photo and click on a photo, it's a .jpeg, it's a JPEG, right? So using the metadata of this image, it goes, oh, this is a video. And when I click on videos, it shows it to me. But from here, it's like it points to the videos and sub-selects them, but it does not duplicate them. It just knows it's a video. As much as when I go to places, it's not a duplicate. It's just that it goes to this photo and it looks for its metadata and it goes, oh, this is from Clearwalks Lake Forest, Oregon. So then it collects them in places, pictures of Oregon, but it does not duplicate them at any shape. So none of these creates any kind of duplicate anywhere. It's just like a filter, a funnel, because in the library I have every single photo I've ever taken, and these are funnels or filters to show you only photos taken in portrait mode, only photos that are panoramas. By the way, the panorama, by the way, I hadn't shown you, it's one thing I didn't show you. That's that last feature on the phone. And this is an example of panoramas where you click on that arrow thing that I said, and you put your camera here, and then you just go with your camera, and then you stop it, and it's just, it continuously shoots, and that's a panorama photo. Here's different panorama photos, okay?
Oh, they look so nice.
What's that?
They
Yeah.
look so nice. Mine are always split up because I can't walk straight.
You shouldn't walk when you're doing a panorama. That's a good point. By the way, yeah, to get good panorama photos, let me just quick photo thing. Consider your body a tripod. So you put your hand, like your elbows. Let me just say, you should just see me. You should put your elbows against your body like this and your phone like this, and then you just kind of press go, and then you just move like this, like just like that, like just like if you're a tripod, as if it's moving. Don't ever walk because it's all broken up, like you're saying, or don't even try to do this because your hands are just do like a little twist as if you were on a little swiveling chair with your body. Like move your waist, keep your feet on the ground and just move your waist and then let go. And that's where you get a good panorama picture. Okay, these aren't doctored, this is straight from the camera, but it's how I move my body. Okay, so anyway, that just little feet, when you said that, because by the way, if you do move around, this instead of being like this, it's what she said, it would be broken up, there'd be jaggedies because your phone would have taken the thing up and down. So that's how to prevent the jaggedies. Anyway.
But it doesn't matter whether you hold it vertically or horizontally because it'll automatically go to horizontal, right?
No, actually, I don't have a sample here, but it's interesting because I didn't bring it in here, but I have some really great panorama photos of, these are grand sequoia trees, and you know, they're humongous. There's no way you can take a picture. And I have one where I put it sideways and I pressed play, and it started from the roots and then it went up to the top. And so then what you have is a long picture, like tall, of that whole tree. So that's, you know, you could use it in either direction. So consider that. Play around, try something tall, a building or a lamppost. I don't know, just put it the other direction, and it goes from, the arrow would go pointing up or down. I should bring one into this sample picture so you see it, because I do that quite a bit too. Anyway, I wasn't sharing when I was saying that, but I meant to say is over here, what you would have, you'd end up with one long, tall picture instead of one wide picture of that entire sequoia tree, right? And that's because you tilted your camera, and the arrow, instead of going left to right, was pointing up or down, and then you just move you do like this with your phone, right? Anyway, and enough of that. But I just was explaining the sub-selection of places and all of those. So who sub-selects people? The camera doesn't know that this person's name is Lisa and this person's name is John and this person's name is Chris, right? So this is you. The camera will use its artificial intelligence to look at faces that have the same features, distance between eyes, nose. I have no idea. It's this whole like intelligence thing that the camera does, and it'll find people that are similar, but it won't, how do you call it? Name them. So in this case, let me just give you an example. This one here, if I double click, will show me many pictures of this face, which happens to be my mom, right? but the computer doesn't know who this person is. Oh, look, here's Yolanda, who's in class. This is a picture of my mom with Yolanda. And when she visited here, they became friends. So this is all the photos of my mom that the computer found. And interestingly enough, look at this. That one makes sense. That one makes sense. That one makes sense. Look at this one. That one is my mom. And yet the computer still figured out that was my mom. Pretty interesting, right? Because it really needs to see that part of the face to make it work. Where it doesn't work a lot is if she's completely on a profile, or of course on her back or anything like that. But as long as it sees part of your face, it figures it out. But it still doesn't know who it is, right? So here, what I could do is I could say add name, and I could say this person is my mother, right? Or, and I'm going to cancel to show you another place, because once I put the name, it's there. Or even here, if I get something like this that's not named, I can either click on here and write my name, my mother, right? So now I'm going to do it here, mom, right? And so that is now mom. So if I think there might be, this is a very reduced set of photos I have, of course, but if I think I have more photos of my mom, I could go over here to confirm additional photos, and I'm going to do that. And then the answer right now is there don't appear to be any additional photos of mom. Again, I have a very reduced set of photos here, but if you know it recognized a person, if you click additional photos, it's going to begin to run through everything, and it's going to say, is this your mom? And it'll be a photo where maybe it's a little bit more confusing or hidden, or for some reason she looks very different. And I'd have to say yes or no. And most of the times it's correct, it's yes. Now and then it might have mistaken to say no, but it's amazingly accurate. The way it can find like my kids at all ages. It knows how to track Santi when he was a little toddler and when he's old. You know, I guess there's something about facial features that grow and are recognizable that artificial intelligence knows. Anyway, so right now, it started saying something called updating people, and it says people will finish updating when photos is in the background. Many of you might have that there. And that what that means, when photos in the background, what does that mean? Right now, this photos program is in the foreground. It's my active photos program is the one I am sharing with, talking with you. The moment I start getting busy with my computer, leave Photos app open and start like working on the web or writing a letter, that'll make it be in the background. And at that point, it'll have the power to start searching through the whole thing and start to distinguish, elaborate more people. Now, since mine is kind of already set up a little bit, and it's not finding any other people, it's a little bit hard, but let me, and I did something wrong. I had already assigned photos to like my family, Santi and Joaquin, my husband. But then for this class, I deleted them because I wanted it to show you how to reset it again. But what's happening is it isn't resetting them. It kind of thinks that I've deleted them is because I don't want them. And in fact, this memories, I know that it knows who Santi is because this memory was based out of Santi being Santi. But since I deleted it from here before the class started, I wasn't expecting it to not show me them again. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how to expect it. So you guys who went to the people thing, is anyone having a thing there where it's showing you some faces or it's having some blank names, or does anyone have anything happening right now? Yes, Anna?
Mine doesn't have like, mine doesn't have my name. Other people as well.
It won't, it doesn't know the name. You have to add names. It just
I know, but I don't
recognizes.
know how.
Okay, so this would be a good example. Do you want to share your screen? Because since mine isn't doing it, I would like someone else to show me so that I can show you how to do it. And then Yolanda is asking something. She's been in this class before. She had a lot of them set up. Hold on, let me move this over so that I can look at it in my main screen. And this is what it would look like. This is exactly what it would look like if you haven't named anyone yet. It recognizes photos that it thinks are someone in particular, right? Because it sees that face in your photos and it just puts them here. So now go to one of them that you know who it is. Okay, and see how it says name? Now click on that name And now
Oh,
give this person a name.
okay.
And stop. Don't leave there. Look what's happening. If this person is just a random person, you have to continue writing the name. But if you happen to have this person in your contact book, stop, don't click on anything yet. I don't want it to go. So what these names that are popping up for her are in her contact book. And those of you who are taking my Mac classes know what I'm talking about, but she should have created them into a contacts, or she would have received an email from them or something that these are people she's already communicated with. If so, when she starts writing the name, these choices will come up. And notice that this says Leah, but it has someone called Leah Thompson, but it also has Tyra, Leah's friend, I'm kind of implying there, or Leah Thompson. So she can decide instead of writing her name, she can connect it to that contact. So who is this one of all those? And if so, can you click on that icon? Is this Leah one of those? It's that one. Okay, click on that one. Okay.
Which
so now you
both. Oh,
it went
done.
blank. You choose the one who that is. Yeah.
Okay. I did.
Okay. So then now move on to the next person. Oh, there we go. Click that one. Yeah. So now see how that Leah Thompson in your contacts now has a face?
Okay.
Before it didn't. Now click on that one and start writing whose this name is. And there we go. And then click on that one.
And we'll get a link.
So it'll link to your contact book. So notice that right now, the Logan just had an L. Now go back to that name and click on it again and try to start writing something. And notice that when logo comes up right now, stop, go down to the choices. See, stop. She only has this person as Logan in her contacts. She doesn't have last name. The moment she starts writing his last name, the computer thinks it's not someone she has in her contacts books, because her contact books doesn't have a Logan Thompson. It only has a Logan. Does that make sense? So the moment she wrote the T, her options went away. So this matters a little bit to the question that Yolanda had. When you write this name in here, it has to be written the same way. If later another Logan face appears and she writes Logan, maybe all with lowercase, or she writes Logan Thompson, or she writes Logan, maybe she calls him Tommy, I don't know. And so the next time she calls him Tommy, each time it'll appear here as if these are different people, which is Yolanda's question. She has a bunch of different people where one time she wrote the name in uppercase or in lowercase, and suddenly this appears to be different people. So remember to always write them the same way, and then it'll always be the same person, right? So anyway, just go ahead and point again to Logan down there. Yeah, click on that, and then that'll always be that Logan.
And
now,
this is the same person.
Exactly. So this is when sometimes you need to tell the computer that's the same person. So go ahead and give, go ahead and give this person a name. Okay. Now double click on Lola. No, on the one that you called Lola. Cool. Now scroll down. Hit escape or back out, because we don't necessarily want, back out with that arrow. We don't want necessarily to see that. Here's more photos of what the computer decided was possibly Lola, right? So now note, wait, don't leave, go up again. See where it says above, no, scroll down to that. That's the video, on top is the video. Now right here, it says photos, show more, and it shows you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos of this person. If you go, oh, let's see what other photos it found, click on show more. And now these are all the photos that your computer found that it thinks are Lola. Now, if you switch back to show summary, it'll show you the summary again. See, that's just when you want to see a few or more. Now, scroll down a bit more. Keep scrolling. In a lot of these photos, it tends to see these two people too. You see that? So it wants you to maybe name them, but don't go there yet. It's just that these people keep appearing in these photos, so ignore them for now. But now go down to confirm additional photos to see if it finds other photos no, I didn't say, that's okay. You put her in favorites, that's fine, but that's not what I said. I said, go to the top one, confirm additional photos. So no, stop, don't do anything. So now the computer's like, review some more photos. Is this Lola Vago? And if it is, you say yes. Stop, stop. Don't say yes yet.
Oh,
Hold on. It's okay. You said yes. Stop, stop. Don't keep saying yes. Stop for a minute. No, don't say no. No, no, don't ever say no. No, just stop. Stop. Don't click on anything else. Stop. Let me explain this feature because you're messing it up. No, but this is important that happen because it'll happen to the rest of you. Stop. Let me explain what yes or no means because it's important. When you say yes, stop. Don't click on yes. Please move your mouse out. You make me nervous. Don't say yes or no right now. Thank you. When you say,
Poor Deanna, you're gonna give her a heart attack.
every time I said don't do that, she pressed on no. That no is a bad idea. The yes is not necessarily a bad idea if it is that person, but the no is a bad idea. Let me explain. Babies are kind of hard, right? Because their faces changes. So at first it's going, is this Loga? If you say yes, don't say yes. If you say yes, it goes, oh, anytime this person looks that way, that's also Lola. So what it does, you said yes to one, but what it does, it goes and it finds other photos of this face and it adds them to Lola. Don't touch anything, but see at the top it says 21 photos added. That's because when you did say yes, right above this is this Lola Vago? It says right above the yes or no that I've told you not to touch. No, no, no. Go back to the yes or no.
Yes, I see it.
Point to it for other people to see it. Thank you. It says 20 photos of that. That's because she said yes. So the computer went and said, oh, if this is also Lola, then all of these must be Lola. So it added them. The problem was when she said no, that I told her to stop saying no, is because if you say, is this Lola Vago? No. You're training it that when it sees this face, not to call her Lola Vago. This must see another person. So if this is Lola Vago and you said no, whenever it sees a photo that looks like this, she won't come up under your people anymore. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you really don't want to ever click on no, because now whatever the no was that you said no to, you can't go back to it right now. There's another way to add it, but you can go back to it from now on. When you look for photos of Lola, those that you said no just won't show up. And what if it was a really cute photo and you wanted it? Well, it won't show up because you said it wasn't. Not only that, but any photo that looked like that, the computer will conclude all of these must not be Lola. So don't say no if it is Lola. Do say yes, but don't, on the other hand, don't say yes if this isn't Lola, because then you'll start having pictures of Lola and Tommy under Lola, because you said yes to Tommy being Lola, right? So you really need to be careful and go slowly through these, especially when it's a baby and you might get distracted, so that Lola does end up being only Lola and you don't miss any photos. So now that I've said that, go back to the yes and no and carefully say yes if it truly is Lola, and do not ever say no unless it's not Lola. So now look at the top. She said yes one time and now it says 25 photos added. Don't say done, don't say done. It says 25 photos added and before it said 21. So by saying yes to that one picture, it found 4 more. Keep saying yes. If this is Lola, say yes again. And now look up there. Now it says 27. By saying yes to that one, it went, oh, these other 3 pictures of that moment. By the time you do this to each person, keep saying yes now whenever it's her, and if it's a mistake, when you're done, it goes, oh, you've added 30 photos of Lola Vago. We do know, because she said no a couple times, that there's some of Lola that are not here, but now you've trained your computer to know that all these instances of baby, those are all Lola. So now go ahead and say done. Right? And now every time, and now if you go into show more, you'll have many more photos than before that say that they're Lola. So scroll down a little bit more, no, down, no, the other way to the top. Yeah, oh, where it says photos show more, where you went before. Before it showed us like 12 photos. Now look at all the photos it found of Lola. Why? Because she trained it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it knows that all of these are also Lola. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, next time a picture of Lola gets uploaded, it'll either automatically know it's Lola, or it'll ask her again, is this Lola? And you get to say yes or no. Okay. So that's kind of how you would do that. Now go back to people up at the top, where it shows you, oh, okay, that faces, go ahead and go down. When you click on faces, it takes only the face from the whole picture. When you click on photo, go to photos, it shows you the photo in which it found that face. So
Okay.
even if it was a picture with 3 people, when you go to faces, it only shows you that little face, right? Okay, go back in that arrow and you're back here. Now you can start doing that with others. Now go to the other picture that you said was, did you say the bottom one was also Lola? And this is the
Yeah.
important one. Okay, that's Lola. You said that one was Lola. So stop. This is where Yolanda got into trouble. And this is very important. Sometimes the picture is different enough that the computer thinks, well, maybe this is a different person. So if you click on that name right now and instead write Loli, because sometimes you call her Loli, from now on, the computer will think these are 2 different people, right? So be careful. Now we want these to merge and tell the computer these 2 are the same person. So go ahead and click on name and write Lola exactly the same way. Like if you do even lowercase, it considers a different person. Write it identically. Yeah. And then the best thing you can do is click on the same link. And then it goes, oh, so is this the same one? And you say, yeah, this is the same one. So then it goes, okay, then merge them. Go ahead and do that. So now there's only one. But had you written Lola Vago, which is not just Lola, then you would have a Lola and a Lola Vago. Does that make sense? So you got to make sure that you put the exact same name and then it goes, oh, I didn't notice. Is that the same person? Thank you. Now, since you showed it some photos that now might have been Lola, but it didn't know, if you go back into this and say add more photos, because now you showed another instance, it might add some more. Just try it. Go ahead and double click into Lola again. I'm following through with one person, you guys, because this is what you would do. So look at the note, go to the very, very top again. There are additional photos for review, right? Because you gave it some more info. So hit review now. Okay, and you just said yes to that?
Yeah.
Okay, because we didn't see the yes because the whole thing didn't share, but you said yes to that one more photo, and there we go. So
that was
now,
it. Okay.
now it knows that other photo is also Lola. Okay. All right. So now Lola has been handled. Now, one by one, you can do that to all these people. Now, one last thing to show you what it means by favorites. Open Lola up again. Say this is a person that you care more than everyone else, right? For some reason, scroll all the way down and say add Lola to favorites. Yeah. Now go back to the main theme. Yeah. And see how now Lola gets like a bigger picture and she stands out up there. So for example, in my real one, I have like 30 people, but then I have up on top, I have like my husband, my kids, my mom, like all in the top, like big. And I think it takes like, I don't know, it takes like, I don't know how many big ones it takes. So those are the people that you want to go to more often, because sometimes you have a group photo and these are friends that you might have only 1 or 2 photos of. And so you gave them a name. And other times you have people in your group photos that you don't even know who they are. So you just go, nah, no, remove this one. I don't want this person in there. I don't want to remember this person ever. So if any of these people are just people who happen to coincidentally be in your photo that day, maybe in the background of a photo you took on the beach, you don't need to name them or want them, right? So you just get rid of them. So if so, you would say remove, like underneath where it said add people to favorites, underneath that there was a remove people from here. And that's a mistake I made. In order to redo this for you guys, I removed my family from my sample. But now that they're removed, the computer resists. It won't give me them again. So that was me. I messed up. I have to reset my library somehow for that, not to that. But now you've done that. So the people that you want bigger would show up like that. Let me, one more second, don't leave yet, Anna, because this is perfect, because actually, hold on, don't leave, but let me see if there's any question based on what you just did first, because you're great at following directions and you have a lot of unnamed people, so I can show these things here. And if not, I want to show one more thing regarding people with your sample. So let me take a couple of questions. Yes, Sarah?
Yeah, I have a couple. One of them is, okay, with photos and you have people and you put down their name, right? And my friend had a daughter named Menla, She died, okay, after 3 weeks. Then they had a son they called Mendel. And now they have another daughter that they have named Menla.
Okay.
And the second question I have is,
wait.
no, because it's tied in, is that they have sent me photographs, right? And I look under the size of the photos, whether it's a JPEG or whatever, you know, and one of them would be a very high, large file. So how can I rename it to make it into a JPEG?
Okay. Hold on, because those are completely different questions, which is I said, wait, no. The renaming into a JPEG and stuff, you can't do. If it's a JPEG, it's a JPEG. If it's not, it's not. You would have to do that outside, and we'll talk about that at a different place. Now, the names, what you need to do, or your friend or you, if you have photos of all three, but two of them have the same name, but they were two different babies, right, is what you're saying?
Right.
So then the first baby who passed away, you might call them Menlo or Menla one or Menla Angel. Some people call them, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like, call them something else. And then the second baby is just Menla. That would be like giving them two different names to distinguish them. But how many of you have two friends named Nancy? Just so you know, my two best friends are named Nancy. It's ridiculous when I say, oh, I told Nancy, my family's like, which Nancy? It's like, oh, come on, right? So I have to call them by their names, you know, like Jane Doe, Jane Smith. I have in here in people, I don't just write Nancy, I write Nancy B, Nancy M, or whatever. But the most importantly, I link them to that contact. And so always it's pretty clear which one is which. I happen to have 5 couples that I know that are named Nancy and Mark. Right. So those names are very typical, I guess, of my age range. Right. So then you have to give them first and last name. It's very difficult to have friends for the first name. So that would be the example of the babies with the same first name. That said, will you be able to distinguish by how they look, how to say, yes, this is the first Menla or the second Menla? That I don't know. That would be you having to look at the photos and the context around them to be able to tell which is which. Unless maybe they don't look similar at all, then you know. But if they look similar, to me, babies look kind of similar. I would need that help. That said, when I trained my computer with my babies, it immediately knew this baby is Santi and this baby is Joaquin. I guess they're different enough, even as babies, that the computer can figure it out that it's a different baby. All right. So the question about JPEG or not, that's not appropriate to right now. So ask me later when we're dealing with metadata. Leon, your hand is up.
So whilst you were doing all this earlier, I went into my people, and because I've taken this class 4 times before, I've already named everybody.
Yeah,
but I mean, not everybody. And so I've named
people who matter.
Very few people, but everybody who shows up has a name. My question is, how do I get all the people who haven't?
Yeah, so that's why I told Anna to hold on, because I wanted to show a different way to name people when they don't show up here. So that's why I said, Anna, wait, I want to show something else. So you're asking the perfect question. Let me first get to Yolanda, and then I'll show you with Anna here how you would name other people who are not automatically being pulled up, because I'm sure there's photos of other people here. So Anna, look at these faces.
Thank you.
And later I'll ask you to go and find a face of someone who's not one of these faces. So if you want to go back to the library and look for someone that's not one of these, go ahead and do that. And then I'll show you. So if you go to all photos, you're probably going to be better than just days, but I don't know. Okay. So while she's doing that, Yolanda, your question?
So I want to be able to do like what you showed, Santi now and then. And I recall, if my memory is correct, that you said you have to to be able to have this, you have to have gone to people and name them. And I have named them, but I cannot find where you would. I saw in when Anna was demonstrating her screen that there was a place there where you could click create photo memory or something like that. I don't know where that is in my screen, and I also want to know how you were able to create something now Then and now.
Okay, so the then and now, I don't think so, but the memories, yeah, I'll show you in a minute. So hold on then, keep your hand up because I don't have that question answered. I'm gonna lower Leon's because we're about to answer Leon's question and you keep your hand up. So what I needed. Okay, so meanwhile we were talking, in the background, Anna has been looking for people, right, that aren't named. So go ahead and back out.
Yeah, not
this,
in my list.
back out of this place first. Go back out of this. Go the arrow. Go click on the arrow. Okay. So she went. In this case, she went to a date, right? Instead of in all photos, she found these under January 23, 24. She found this photo, and if you notice, at the bottom right, it says +10, which tells me there's 10 photos of this time. Now, this is not a moment, guys. This, if you look up at the top where it says years, months, days, and all photos, can you point to that, please, Anna, so people can follow your above.
Follow my computer.
Above, keep going up. There, stop. Years, months, days, and all photos. You see that? If you are in all, click on all photos, please. If you're in all photos, this is just one photo of all the photos that are possibly there. When you go to days, click on days, it looks like in between January 23rd and 24th, there's 10 photos. That doesn't mean there's 10 photos of these people. This is 10 photos in those 2 days. Now, sometimes a day is very important. It's the day that was, you know, your daughter's wedding, in which case that day is a big day and you want to play it as a video. It's not a memory. It's just a day. So let's assume that this day was important to you. See those 3 little dots? Go down now to where it says these 2 faces that you set up. Go down. Yeah. See those 3 little dots? Oh, that's just the map. I thought that one would show you a little. Okay, then don't show the map. Well, click on that. Click on that.
Right click.
See down there where it says play slideshow? That would make a slideshow of those 10 photos. Now, if it's not an important day, it's 10 unrelated photos that happen to be taken in those 3 days. Does that make sense? But if it's happens to be a day that's important, like a wedding, then that would be a play slideshow that would play like the memories, okay? Without necessarily being a memory, it would play that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to ignore that right now. You guys see if you have something like that to play. And now let's find how to make these people be people in her people thing. So a couple different ways. One, when she looked at that photo down there, it shows you where it was. Back out, because that, you know, back out for a minute. Yeah. So when she double clicked on that photo, or hit the space bar on that photo to make it bigger, right? Whatever thing you do. If you scroll down, so everyone, go ahead and go to any of your photos that has a person. Can you back out again? Go back out again, Anna, so I'll show them what I'm talking about. Go back to that arrow and back out. Either because you went here in the days mode, or go back to all photos up at the top.
I'm in my library.
Yeah, all photos. So go in there. Yeah, either in day or here, find a photo right now. So you'll do it with us. Select that photo now that select that same photo. Select a photo that has 2 people that you want to name and either hit your space bar or double click, which is what she did. Everyone, hold on, Anna, we're gonna do it with people. I want people to do that to your own. Find a photo and say, I want to name these people. All right. Now, when you first make it bigger, all you see is the photo. But if you start scrolling down, okay, scroll now do the scroll, Anna. Well, look at that. This is showing up and it's showing you that there are 2 people in this photo. If you had 10, you would see 10 little circles. If you had 1, you would see 1 circle, right? Keep scrolling down a little bit more. It's anything that looks like a photo face, it makes a circle around. It tells you where it is. Now keep scrolling down,
Nothing else.
No, you can scroll a little bit more.
No.
Oh, is that it? Okay, then stop there. Okay, I thought there'd be one. No,
I can go this way.
No. Go back. You're in these are the people you want. Okay, I thought there might be a bit more information underneath. Okay, so here we go. Now we want to name these people, right? So now click on one of these little circles and go down and say, add this person to people. Okay, that was what Leon was asking me. How do I add this person to people?
He will not be here because he passed away.
Yeah, well, that's still, you've added him to people. Okay, now when it does this, we stop seeing, you're only sharing this one screen. So
Oh.
we're not seeing the other screen right now.
Okay, let me do it.
Can you reshare the entire desktop for a second? Because every time you say yes, it goes gray for us, but we stop seeing your
Okay,
pop-up.
there we go.
There we go. So then it says add a name for this person, right?
Okay,
So
let
go
me-
ahead
let me-
and go
let me
ahead
start
and,
from the beginning here, because it's my dad who passed away.
okay, all right.
I don't
so
have
then
his.
Gusta, okay, so you don't have him in your contacts at all, right? Is what you're saying? So
No.
then just write his name. This is an example of when you have someone that you're naming who is not in your contacts. Nothing is showing up, see? So she's just going to write his name, and that's fine. That's good enough. And then, so she had to type it in, and then she'll say next. This person is now added. Now say done. Okay. And then you can now try to confirm additional photos, just in case you have other photos of him. And it looks like not. Now, granted, you might have other photos of him, but this is such a bad photo, as in it's so overexposed that it's hard to see features, that maybe you do have others, but you might need to find others that are a bit more representative of his
I
face.
have the photos installed, but not in
Okay.
here. It was the old time, the photo paper.
Okay, so say done. Yeah, and now you can go back. Now stay in where you were because you had another person there. Stay where you were. Go back into the, yeah, and back out. Now, do you want to name this other person? There's do you
This
want to
person?
name this person? Yeah, is this someone you care about that you want to name or not?
Well, I don't know. It's me.
Ah, okay. Well, I didn't.
I look
So,
different in
but-
all the photos. That's what I say. He doesn't recognize me.
Okay, so
Now I
then
go
you might,
here.
but if you are, but have you named yourself here?
No,
Have
you
you-
see, I never did.
So name yourself, go ahead and put your name there, and
I don't
Keep-
exist.
just go right, Anna, because no, there's so many A's, keep writing a little bit more. Anna, keep
Doesn't
going.
let me
There's-
do it.
But you have a bazillion A's, write a little bit more.
How is
There, now you'll show up. Because when you write A, any name that has A appears. So you need to give her a bit more information, right? So go ahead and write Anna.
Aha.
And there you go, that's you.
Only
And then
one.
say, okay, say no, that's saying, is this person, say done. No, it's not only one, say done. Good. Now, double click on your name. And now go to confirm additional photos. Go down, down. Well, that's more that it finds you in, right? But go
Oh.
down, down, down. These are the ones
I
it
have
knows
more
you're
than
in.
this.
Scroll down, confirm additional photos. And now you have to start saying, is this her, yes or no? Because when people look very different and you say yes each time, so look at how, different, and this all seems to be yes, but the computer's picking it up. Even look at how different she looks in each photo. But something about artificial intelligence can figure out that this is always the same person.
Wow.
And then you say done. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
now this person will be easier to recognize. And if you go into that old photo, which is so different, you can now confirm that truly was Anna, right? And you
Oh, and
can,
I can put oh, no, I can make it this favor.
yeah, you could have hit that heart, yeah, or you can scroll down and
No, it did
tell
not
it,
let me
but-
do it. The heart.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it did. There it is. So now you're up there.
So-
Okay. So that way, there's one more way to add people, by the way. That's one other way to add people, which, hold on, did that help anyone else, Leon? You just go to a photo, any photo, right? So can you go back to your library now, Anna?
I
Oh,
don't,
yeah, sorry.
Hold on. Now scroll up and down and find any other face. I don't care. Scroll up and down until you find another face. 1 second. So
Got it.
is any one of these people someone
This
who
is
wasn't
me.
in
I did
those?
not pick it up.
oh,
Well, you don't know if it did or not pick it up. How do you know if it didn't pick it up?
Let's put.
Wait, but really, wait. Let me show you whether it did not pick it up. You scrolled past it. You said it didn't pick it up and you don't know if it did. Because how would you know? This is your library. This is just your library, right? So go to any of these photos that are you, any. Yeah, say that's that one, double click.
Okay.
Right, scroll down. Yes, it did pick it up. Stop. But let me show Pete. Yeah, but you saw it, but people didn't see it. We are using you as a sample. See how when you go down, it shows the picture that you see that? It's calling her that photo that she has. It is calling her Anna. Does that make sense, you guys? Let me show you one more thing. Go back to the library. Go back to the library. Now, instead of going anywhere, turn on your info, the metadata info. Go up to the little I for that photo. And this is the other one that I wanted to show you. Go up to the little I. Do you remember how to bring up the info? Command I or no.
Command I?
Yeah, or get info right there. Yeah, that little, yeah.
I see.
In the metadata of this photo, move it out for a little bit so people can see it's the photo that's selected. Just move this little box over a tiny bit because the one that's selected is right underneath it. Yeah, so that's the photo. In the metadata of this photo, it has something that it didn't have a minute ago. Look down there, it has a little circle of her face. Yeah, and if you hover over that face with your mouse, the little circle. Yeah, click on that. And it tells you it's Anna. See up there? And it brought you to Anna's photos. Does that make sense? Because the computer does know that's Anna now. Does that make sense? How it's all linked?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. You're all convinced now? All right. Now, since you've been showing a lot, that's awesome. I'll let you be. Keep working on yours. And now, Leon, you seem to have more a question around that. So, Leon,
I'm not even at first base with this whole process because I don't see what you're seeing. So, can we do a screen share, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
I was just trying to show the whole process from A to Z.
Okay.
Then all people's now are in different stages of yes or no about it. Okay. So now, okay. So you're already in something. So back yourself out. Go up to this arrow up top where it says your name, Leon. Go up to the arrow that's above it. Go up, up, up. There's a little arrow above people. No, go to your name, Leon. Right there above places it said your name, Leon. Put your mouse up. Okay, put your mouse on the map. Put your mouse on the map. On the map. Yeah. Now, do you see the word places? Put your mouse on the map. Your mouse is, I don't see it on the map right now.
Don't see the word places.
Okay, put your mouse on the map. I need to see your mouse move to the map and then I'll guide you. There. Okay, now go hover over the one that says 154, like to the left, that photo on the left. Just hover.
154. I'm not seeing what you're telling. There's something.
Stop. Are you seeing your map?
No, I'm seeing like this mostly white thing and it says my contacts, start external cloud contacts. I don't even know.
Okay, so then you have other stuff open. Go down. Oh, look at your dock. You have 85 apps open. Close every single thing that's not Zoom and photos, please, because if you're seeing my contacts, you're seeing contacts. So start quitting every single app here that is not photos or Zoom, please, because otherwise there's just no way to distinguish everything you're seeing. Quit, 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 quit everything. Quit that, quit mail. And then go quit your calendar on the left. Okay, and then on the right you have the printer and your mail, yeah, and Zoom. So, okay, so now you only have, yeah. Now you only have
a new printer today, but that's not going to happen.
Okay, now you only have Zoom and photos. Okay.
Yeah.
So now hover over photos. Do you still see that contact thing?
Well, it was until I just hit photos and then it just covered it up. I don't know what was it. I don't know what it was. It wasn't, I didn't open it, whatever it was. But so library, you go into library. And I mean, I had somebody picked out. Where did he go? Right there. There he is. Okay. So one of my hiking friends.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't.
Go ahead and.
What?
I was gonna show you how to put them in your people, but you said I don't, so what? You
No,
don't
no,
what?
no, go ahead.
If you want to put this person in your people, go
Yeah.
click on that face, on that little circle face. Click
Yes,
on that.
please,
Now,
thank you.
double click. Good.
Oh,
Now add this person to people.
okay. See, somehow I missed the double.
Find his name. Don't say next. Go back. Now you've added them without a name. So add a name for this person up at the top.
See, this is gray thing of yours that's right over it. The participant has enabled, oh, let me close that. Closed captioning is always in the way.
Yeah, whenever you see a participant enabled closed caption, someone in class has enabled closed caption, then you guys close that message because it gets in the way. So this person is now added. Did you put a name on that person now?
Yes.
Okay, so that's done. Now,
Okay.
do you want to confirm additional photos? Because it found these two of them. Do you want to confirm additional photos of this person?
Yes, but that's not him.
Okay, so then, perfect example, is this Don Leo? Say no.
I mean, it doesn't even remotely look like him. I don't know how that happened.
Well, it
Well,
depends. If you
I mean-
if you look at just the internal part of his face, I mean, sometimes it's really off. Most of the times it's not that off. Okay, so now say done. You didn't add any other photos of Don. Say done at the top.
It's covered up. There's something over it. The mute participants chat is all up in the top now, and I didn't put it up there.
No, you can grab that from the back, the black area, and drag it out of the way, or you can just grab, move it down. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know how it got up there.
It doesn't matter. So now say done.
And so, there should be dozens of him, because on every hike I do on Tuesday, I always take pictures of,
Okay, so, but
That's
instead of,
wrong.
slow down. Let me show you how else to add people, because it's not always so automatic. Say done. Go up to say done. Okay, good. Now, you have more photos of Don, right? So go back to your library. Actually, go back to people right now, because I want to see all your people outside of, so now you have, these are all the people that you have that are named, right?
Right.
And all those people, the very last one, see, is the one we just added, Don. You guys see that? He just
Yeah.
added it that way. Now go out back to library, find another photo of Don, please. If you go with him every week, you should have more
Yeah, I should.
relatively easily.
I should. These squares are so small.
You can make it bigger. You can go up to in fact, if you just do one thing that you can do, if a shortcut is, you can hold Command plus, and all your photos will pop up bigger. So Command, hold down the Command key and then click your plus key. And hold down your Command key, leave it held down, and then tap your plus key a few times.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
There you go. Now you've made him a bit bigger. Okay. So now,
Well, hold on. Augie, I'm in the class. I'm still in the class. I got to call you later. Bye. Oh, so, I just take what I've been doing while you've been going on is just getting rid of a lot of hiking pictures out of my iPhone that are probably taking up a lot of space. I mean, I save every single
okay. Let me just say that if a photo has him climbing a mountain way in the background, it won't find him. Right? Like he might be in that group and that won't work. Like, see those groups? Look at, okay.
Yeah.
A little bit higher where you have like 10 people, right?
Yeah.
Click on one of those.
Oh.
Just select one of those and hit the return. Yeah. See how it's, artificial intelligence is amazing, but is there any way to recognize all these people?
No.
I mean, no, right? So when you say I have a ton of photos of him, if this is the active kind of photos you have, probably even he's in there, he won't. Now that sideways, these, if that happens to be him, might work, right? But nor would something like that under the hat work, right? So if you find a picture that is truly him, now what you guys can do is name these people yourselves. Like you can say who each one of these people are. So for
there
example,
he is right there.
There he is. Okay, good. So now there's a way to do that. first of all, just to see if in case the computer has recognized it, scroll down and see if there's a circle of his face. I doubt it, but there might be. No, see, the face is too small to be recognized. Now move up again. So how else would you do this? This is the last, stop. This is the final way, the last and final way you can add. In this case, the computer isn't recognizing a person here. It isn't. So go up to the I or call up the info with Command I or click on that little I. Good. Now bring this over. Notice, move your mouse down. Yeah, perfect. Now move your mouse down until you see that it says add faces. Guys, pay attention, pay attention. If there had been a recognizable face here, even if it didn't know what it is, this info would show a little circle with a face, and it's up to you. This is the other place you can name someone. But in this case, it doesn't even recognize a face. So the add faces is empty, but you know there's a face, right? So click on add a face, click on that, and then see a little circle appears in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You can grab that circle from the little line of the circle. Go to the little line of the circle and grab it. Yeah, and now drag it over to that person's name that happens to be Don that only you know. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, cool.
Now click to name and call him Don in exactly the same way as you did before, which was with lower. There. Now select Don Leroy. Cool. Now that's how you add a name to something that the computer doesn't even think is a person. If you go back to people now, you'll see, go back to people now. On the very far left, go back to people. And now if you open up Don, right now, go ahead and say confirm additional photos. I doubt it. It's so tiny. No, it's so tiny that it didn't help. You know, the fact that it wasn't even recognized as a person, that's why we say I have tons of picture of this person. If they're all like that, it just isn't enough information for the computer to then recognize. So you have to have a bit more face to the picture. But if you, every time you see him, you name him, then when you want to go pictures of him, you'll see that one that you named. Does that make sense? But you'd have to do it hand by hand.
I haven't been doing it. I have not. I take so many hiking pictures. I have not been taking the time to name them. And I thought, this might be a shortcut.
Yeah, but you saw that in all the pictures you thought you had him in, you only had one when he's barely looking like himself. You recognize them, you know the clothes they wear, their body shape, but it's got to be the face in a big enough size that the computer can recognize it, okay? So then you can name them yourself by hand. So go ahead and say done. Yeah, and basically go back to your library.
I want to add them to favorites though.
Go back. No, you did add him to favorites just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as you go through stuff and you keep recognizing, like, you know who this person is, you know who that person is, but the computer, there's no way. You can keep making little circles around them and calling them something, because at some point, the good news is you'll have all the people you hike with normally registered. And then it will be easy to open up a picture, like stop at one of the ones of multiple people, please. It'll be easy to open up one of those, right? Back out, yeah, go, hit the space bar or double click. Now, if you stop here and don't do anything, guys, once you have registered all these people, because you have done that ones by one, then you can come here, and when it says who's here, you can just drag out and point to each one who's there, and then each time you look for pictures of Don, Martha, and Jack, these will show up. But you would have to name them, because see, there's no faces here. There's no faces. The computer can't do that without faces. You would have to do these kind yourself. Okay. Now this one, you probably can name, and then it might be recognized, because that's more of a face, right? The one that was a sideways face. That one you can probably name, and it might be big enough. But okay.
All right, don't tell me. I go here first, maybe?
No, that's to share with other people.
Go here first.
If you want to do it that way, yeah.
What other way is there?
No, well, another way is first check in case there's enough of a face for the computer to recognize it, scroll up a bit. Just in case there's a face that's, just scroll. Oh, look, There's two faces, but neither one is that one.
No,
It
not
thinks,
him.
could it be some of these people?
Well, that's
Because
her. That's
Okay.
her. We could add
Okay.
her. So
So
I
you
would
can-
double click her. But now she's not showing up.
No,
Why?
no, because she's already exists as your person. So,
Add a name.
that was just, yeah. So now if you don't do it that way, and there's many people, you can't just name this whole photo that person, which is what Anna did, because she just had a whole baby in there. So you need to go to the info like you just did. Yeah. And then to that face.
wait.
Oh, click on the face. It is there. That face, see that face? Stop to the left. No, it already is there.
That's this guy.
Yeah, so click on that circle, please. Click.
Okay.
Click on it.
That, yeah.
Simply click on it. Okay. And then double click to find that face, like double click. There we go. And now add a name up on top.
Add a name on, oh, up there, okay.
And who is this person, right? There
Okay.
you go. Okay, now go click on, no, don't just stop, go back. Choose his email, like don't just write his name, but go
Okay.
the top choice, click on that one. Yep, there we go. So now say done. Cool. Now look at all the photos of Mike that it found. Now that you've told him this is Mike, there's lots of photos of Mike.
Yeah.
But, okay, and now if you want to confirm additional photos in case he keeps popping up, do that. Confirm additional photos. Nope, looks like that's it for now. So these are the only recognizable ones as far as AI is concerned. Then the moment you go, and this is important, you guys, listen to me. This is not just for Leon. The computer can't automatically recognize any more photos of Mike. So you say done. But if you go and find another version of him that you name Mike, and you don't name him Mike, but you put a little circle around him and say Mike, it'll go, oh, is it this Mike? And you go, yes. Then it'll go, oh, well, if that's also Mike, then how about these other photos? Are these Mike, right? So you have to work with this a little bit, because all the computer can do is guess, and you have to tell it yes or no. Now, it says there doesn't appear to be any more photos of Mike, so say done. That's it. That's all you have of him. And you go into your library, and if you find more photos of Mike, though he's not marked, then when you try to name him, right? When you try to name him, then it'll go, oh, is this the same Mike Monas or whatever? And you'll go, yeah. And so there we go. So now click on her face. See down there? Double click on her face.
How come I came up? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's too small, right? So that was a sideways photo. So find a better photo of her. That's such a small photo.
Photo.
No. What did I say 2,500 times? Frontal.
Oh,
The computer has to measure. The computer has to measure like distance between eyes, distance between nose. This has eyeglasses, hat, and sideways. So it's not a good photo for the computer to be able to recognize anyone.
That's what I'm hearing.
It needs to be something that's then is measurable against other photos.
So if I'm just like taking pictures offhandedly on a hike, I mean, you have to really get people to pose, and that it sort of takes away all of the naturalness that I'm trying to do, is to get them.
Yeah, that's great. But what you're going to have to do then is find these photos based on place when you went to Red Oak St. Canyon or something like that. This isn't a perfect feature, you guys, and it's just a feature that helps you. The first time you label someone, it's good to have their perfect face. Look at the people that you have the name there. Go back to people. Go back to actual people.
But it still never should have brought my face up. Come on.
Stop. You had a hat. Stop. Look at all these people that are being named. Most of them have a piece of their photo that is straightforward. See?
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that that's the only one I'll recognize. Over there, you named Roger and Steve, who are looking sideways or something. So it doesn't like never work. But if you label these people, then it knows it's that person. But if that person is, you know, halfway into the photo, they'll know it. But if that person is a speck amongst plants and rocks and trees and other people, the limits of of this
AI.
program. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna stop your share because now
Okay.
basically
Thank
that's
you.
so keep going to photos that are more
Keep going.
recognized. Here's the last thing. The more you teach it, the better it gets, right? So even though one time it didn't work, in that case of that woman who you said, oh, that's not right because that's my photo, then don't do it that way. Click on add faces, put a little circle over her face, call her the right name. And then next time you find faces like that, it'll find her. Does that make sense, you guys? The last case scenario, I'm going to share my screen now. The last case, and I know there's other questions, but the last case scenario, once this doesn't consider people anymore, is you go down here and you go, I know there's a person here that I want to name. So you open your info, okay, from here, or Command I, right? And you assign a name. And so sorry, I didn't open info. So let me find someone, a photo where no one's been recognized. Here, let me click on this one. So here is a photo. Oh my God, it even recognized me. How funny. Because see, this is me, right? And it knows this is me, but it found me. Oh my God, it was able to find me here and here and here, which is kind of interesting that in all of these that it found, I have a hat of some kind covering me, or a weird face, or my helmet, or a hat for winter. So it's really using only like this little bit, or maybe it's, I'm smiling at all of them. Maybe it's the smile. I don't know what it recognizes, but it figured out it was me, right? And so I'm going to add the name, and I'm going to call myself Diana. I'm going to link it to me. And now this person is named Diana. I'll go ahead and say done. And in the future, I know that this person here is Diana, which is me. And I can ask it to find more photos, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, once again, I'm going to find someone who is not labeled. So say this person, right? This person here does not have a name, but the computer knows it's a name because it even puts a circle on them. Now, in the case of Leon, it was a little person there. He had to drag out a name, but this one does know it's a person because it gave me an unnamed circle. So now I'm going to click in there, and I'm going to call this one Christina Sanchez, because that's who she is. Oh, not Sanchez, Sanchez, right? So now if I go to my people, I do have Christina Sanchez. And so the computer hadn't picked it out, but I stopped and I said, I want to label us a person, right? So I want to label, I happen to have very few photos here. So I really do have only mostly photos that I know. I don't have that many like unknown people. Actually, let's go ahead and open this one. This one has more people. See? And see, when I hit this space bar, it knows who I am, but see how it knows these are faces? If this is, if I open this one, right, it doesn't make a circle over any chicken because it doesn't know it knows it's not a person. But if I click on this one, then it knows that these two are unnamed people. So you'll find that ready to go. How about this? It's an art piece that has a bit of a face. No, it knows it's not a face because it doesn't give me one. But could I say plus, like Leon did? Put it over her face and say, this is, you know, Princess whatever? I could, right? But it really only recognizes real people. It doesn't recognize dogs. I think the latest version, they're trying to make it recognize pets, in fact. But it doesn't yet. But here, it knows there's 3 people. One is named, 2 are not. So here in small, like in small, it doesn't tell me anything. It just recognizes 1 person. But once I hit edit or return, it tells me there's 2 more people here. But these faces are distinctive. The faces that Leon was showing us was little hat sideways amongst a waterfall, amongst a rock. You know what I mean? So it's just harder to recognize. So it doesn't need to be huge frontal, Leon. This is, look at the tiny portion of face this is amongst the picture. But you see his face versus a hat slouching sideways. Does that make sense, the difference? So it doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be a face, right? So I can click in here and I can name this person. I'm not going to right now. About in this case though, that's a face, but that's not enough of a face. See how it doesn't like circle that face? This, on the other hand, it does, but not that one, because I'm only seeing enough that the computer can't use it. And I certainly know who it is, but the computer doesn't. Does that make sense? So it's not because the computer is malfunctioning, it's just not enough to label this a person. This, as far as the computer is concerned, this could be a column on the background. This is a human being. This is not a human being for the computer.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so that's what's happening. These people are far away. Look at how tiny, tiny her face is, but clearly the computer knows it's a person. But these two, it doesn't know they're people. All right, so here's an example. This is a huge photo and a teensy meensy me. It doesn't consider it a person. It's too tiny with trees and stuff, right? And it's not much smaller than this one. But this one is clear enough for the computer to figure it out versus this one is just too busy. And forget this one, like, no, impossible. And those are the kind of photos that you had. As I get a bit closer, it already can recognize me. It knows that that's me. That's near enough, but that was a bit too far. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. So worst case scenario, guys, if the computer doesn't figure it out, you select it, you hit the space bar, and you name it. In this case, it knows it's me. And by the way, that circle is symptomatic of what the computer is using to figure out it's a face. Notice that most of my places where I have a hat, it doesn't use it because it's really using probably the distance between my eyes, the size of the nose, the type of smile. I don't know what it's using, the shape of the head, right? For it to figure it out. I wonder if Grinch, no, see, it knows Grinch is not a face, but it knows that these two are. But it knows that's not a face. Okay, I think I've given enough examples. Let's take a few more questions. Yolanda.
Diana, remember you paused. My question really was relating to the people and what you said.
Yeah, but Yolanda, I know your question because you've had it before, but unless you share your screen, the rest of the people won't know what's happening.
Are we over time? 12:40?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Remember I said that I would stay over to try to make up for the missed class last week? You guys got that in the email that I said I would stay half an hour more. And I also said, if you have to go.
You working all day?
I'm going to mute you. I'm going to stay longer. If people have to go, please go and then watch the last half hour, right? Because I'm trying to make up for the missed class, okay? And I'll stay an extra half hour each day. But if it's too much and you have to go, it's time for lunch, just leave, but then try to access that last 30 minutes, okay? So I'm going to be here until 1, so I've got 20 more minutes. All right. I
want people, and I'm trying to find out where I saw, like, in Leon and Anna make a memory album or something. But I was interested when you showed Santi then and now, and then music played with it. Did the computer just automatically create it, or?
Yeah, that was a memory that the computer created because it had enough photos of Santi that it made a memory of Santi, and thus I have pictures of him looking younger and middle and older because of his age, and photos I have of him, I have a range of photos of all ages for him. So the memory just picked a little bit from each one, and that's why it looks like a then and now. But if you only have pictures of an adult as an adult, you might know that one is from 1977 and one is from 1987, but they already look like an adult. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a memory. The memory I showed of Santi was one created by memories.
How do I put my computer? Because I have like about 40,000 photos on.
Yeah. So how do you make a memory?
How did that thing about Santi then and now came about? I mean, how can I do that?
You can't. Go to memories. Go to memories.
Go to memories. Right here?
Yes. Memories are automatic. You did not make any of this. I did not make Santi's. These just were made for you. Okay, so trips to Alhambra over the years, that means that the computer discovered that you tend to go to that place a lot. So if you were to click on this memory, you will find photos of over the years every time you went to that one place. And that was created by the computer. You didn't make it. One down, golden hour over the years, go one under from the second one, golden hour of the years. It's going to pick up sunset photos. It's called golden hour, sunset photos of you over the years. And you might be all over the place. Go ahead and double click on this one to make it play. And it'll start running through, and it's just showing you sunset photos over the years. It's the computer decided these photos fit. It doesn't matter who's on them, as long as it's sunset. That's a memory of sunset photos. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, some of these might be meaningful to you, and some of them might be like, I don't even remember this moment. It's not important, because it's the computer who set them up. Some might be in the Philippines, some might be in Santa Barbara, some might be wherever. Okay, but someone's got radio or sounds on.
How do I turn this off? Just, how do I turn this off?
Okay, go up to the top and see that little arrow.
Right. Oh, okay. So then.
So these are not something that you can control. That's what I meant.
I see.
You keep asking me how I made it. I didn't. The computer made it for me.
Oh.
Next, I will show you how to choose photos and make one of those. You can do that, but not these. The memories are made by the computer.
Oh, I see. So I cannot specifically make exactly what you showed, like something, because like I want to say Yoli then and then Yoli now.
Yeah, you can make that,
but
not in this feature. This feature, memories, is not something you can create or alter. The computer creates these.
I see.
Now, if you scroll on your sidebar down to where it says projects and albums, you can make an album of and put only photos of you over the years, and then make a slideshow out of that. Or you can make a project slideshow, and I'm going to teach you all of those is coming next, right?
Okay.
So, but you would have to create it. These that you're seeing here, memories, are created by the computer, not you. So you would have to create an album called Yoli over the years, and then you would select photos of you when you were 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, throw them in there, and then play that video. And that would be made by you, and it would look the same way, but you would have chosen the photos. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that, and that's not yet. But this memories that you want to know how I made them, I didn't. The computer made them.
Okay,
just like all of these,
Okay.
You were in Iban, trips to Iban over the years. That means you went there enough times that it says over the years. So people who go back to the same place again and again, you're going to have that she goes visit her family in the same place. That's why it says over the years. If you only went there one time, then it's like over there, it says at the beach, Valdiga, Prado Beach. Looks like you were only there one time. So then there's no over the years there. Does that make sense?
Okay. One more question.
Yes.
The one I saw in Leon's and Anna, where you can click on name these photos. Where was that? Where can I find that?
The info, name these photos, or the name of the person?
Yes, and then make a memory make an album memory. Where was that?
Okay. All right. So go back to your names. It wasn't make an album. It was just play. Yeah. So go to what you want to. You can do it from any album, by the way. You have so many albums there. You want to do it from any album? Let me just show you. It doesn't have to be from people. It has to be under anything. So choose anything, or go to people. Okay. Choose one of these people.
Yeah.
Okay. Open that one up. Double click. Okay. Now scroll down. Oh, by the way, no, don't scroll down. Open up. There it is. Look up the top. Go up to the name. And there's that little arrow.
Oh, here, right here. Is it the arrow?
Yeah. And that
Click it?
plays. Yeah. Does that, see that?
So, but
Now, if you want to stop it, go ahead and hit escape. Escape works, or stop it from the bottom. Either stop it from like on the right, you have a way to stop it, or yeah, close that. That's closing the Photos app. Go ahead and open your Photos app again. Yeah, so notice that there's, by the way, you guys, she just opens this person. At some point she named him, and now it says there are additional photos for review. So that means you've added photos and they want you to check, right? So you can click review and see if those photos work or not. Is that this person? Is that Bishop Robert? Is it yes or no? Okay, then say yeah. So then say done. You've checked it, and so it added it, and there's done. Like it found another nugget of what it thinks can be that person. Okay, so that's how from people, I said, it's not like you make a memory. That was not saved into memories. That's just, you go to people and you press that little arrow. Now, as I said, you can create these as well, but this isn't created by you. It's just that all the people it recognizes as Bishop Robert Barron, when you press that little arrow, it shows you a slideshow of that. Okay. That's all that was. On the other hand, and since you have this, and scroll down to any of your albums, I haven't taught people how to make albums yet, but you have a ton of them. Taken this before. So go down to albums, keep going down to your personal ones, the ones that you've made. Go scroll down.
Selfies?
No, ones that you've made. Scroll down. Keep
Down
scrolling
below?
down. Yeah, any of these. These are all albums you've made.
Okay.
Click on one of them. That's a smart album, but okay. Now,
is that the smart album?
Yeah, probably another one would be better, but click on.
Maybe this one. I don't really know what an album is. So
every one of those things that you have there is an album.
These are albums. All of these are albums.
Yeah, some are folders, and you have albums inside. But yeah, go ahead and now go to one that has stuff. Go to the one that says 2008 France. That has a picture in it at least. Go down one, or Egypt. Anything that has a photo in it. Yeah, click on that. Okay, so these are all photos of that trip. You select an album like this. Okay. Which either she made, or it's so old that maybe iPhotos made at this point, I don't know, but look at the top. This is separating photos, and see how it says slideshow?
Slideshow?
Click on slideshow. And it's, go ahead and say cancel if you didn't. Go ahead and say cancel for a minute. Let me explain what that was. She has, in this album, she has 939 photos in this album. See how it says August 11 videos, 939 photos. To the left of slideshow. Look at the word slideshow. To the left, see how it says, go left, 939 photos. See that? Right there. So this is an album with almost 1,000 photos. And those reside in the cloud. So when I told it to play the slideshow, in order to play it, see how it said downloading? It began to download the photos from the cloud. And I stopped her because I don't know if she wants to download, 700 photos just to sample an album. I hadn't paid attention to how many photos there were in that one. But it would need to do that. Does that make sense? But see where it's grayed out? In between 11 videos and slideshow, there's a thing that says play memory video. Like move to the right a little bit, and it's hard to see. Now, to the left.
The left.
You were right next to it. Go to the word 11 videos.
11 videos.
Now, a little bit to the left, you have the P for the word play. That is very, what I call ghosted. Keep going to the S, and then go to the right.
I don't see the word play in here.
Exactly. Okay, stop. It's very hard to see. Go to the word videos and click on the S of video. Don't click, but hover over the S on videos. Okay, a teeny inch to the right, there's a word that's very hard to see. It says play. You're almost touching it. Move to the right a teensy bit. Yeah, you're almost on it. You're on it. It says play. Now, these are, when I say grayed out, right? It's grayed out means it's not available. But if it were available, it's to show a memory based on this album. You have so many photos in here, it probably can't handle that. If you have an album that has like, no, not 1,000 photos, but less, that play memory video would be blue, just like slideshow. and you would be able to see a memory of that album, but you have so many photos in here that it can't show you a memory.
So that is why I thought I was missing them. I thought they were lost. They were just hiding somewhere.
What, the memory?
You know,
Or
when
the
you
photos?
said, it cannot handle because there were so many photos. So were they in the cloud? In other words, when
Yeah. When you clicked on the word slideshow, it began to, when you clicked on the word slideshow that I told you to click earlier on, it said downloading 600 photos. So I said, cancel. I told you to cancel. I don't want 1,000 photos downloaded of something right now that you might not really want for this little example, right? You might have, let me, I'm going to request remote control for a second.
Yeah,
And
approved.
so go ahead and say yes. Okay. So Yolanda here has tons and tons of let me, okay, you're controlling her, okay. So she has a ton of albums here, and they created eons and eons over ago. But if I click on, and she has folders of albums and stuff, but I'm going to go to, looks like a small number. Here there's only 8. I see 8 right there, right? So that's a small one. This one has 20. I clicked on just my albums to show you all your albums.
Where did you see 8?
Okay, under this, it says a little number 8 right there. Teensy little number 8.
Oh, that's all right. I'll just trust you.
I'm pointing to it with my mouse. I am pointing to the number 8. Like right here, under the word bish, there's a little gray 8. Do you see that? Under Burr, you see 20,538. Do you see what I'm pointing to?
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I see
this has a number 8.
Okay,
so
okay.
If I try to open this album, there's 20,000 photos. If I try to open this one, there's 8. So I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to open this one, and there it is, only 8 photos. See how now I have an option to play a memory out of this one? So I'm going to click on play a memory, and it's going to make a video out of it. Does that make sense? I'm going to back up. It's just that you had thousands in the other one, so this was gray. When something is gray, it's not clickable. Okay, so I went to one of your small albums. Here's there's only 10 here, so I'm going to double click on it, and there it is, play memory video, and you can make them play a memory video from there. Does that make sense?
I thought you said that, you know, when I asked about Santi then and now, I thought you said the computer made it automatically.
Yes. The ones up in the word memories, they're made by the computer. I didn't make them.
Oh, okay.
But I said, if you go and create an album of something that you want, then now this one has 520 photos, and it's just is gray. See, it doesn't say play memory video. I think it has a limit. I don't know what the limit of many photos it can be. 600. See, it doesn't let you. It looks like I'm clicking on the ones that don't have that many things, and it seems to, here it is. This has 11 photos. So then I can play a memory video. It's like your albums that have too much stuff, it just can't. Okay. So if you make an album with 20 photos of you from all your different ages of life, and then say play memory video, it'll show you the video of that album. Okay. And at the very, very bottom, I'm going to show everyone next time, and you have so many that it's at the very, very bottom. Under my projects, you can actually create your own slideshows beyond this little memories thing. You can actually create a slideshow in here, right? Where you put any photos that you want in there, and then you can play the slideshow that you've saved way beyond the memories feature. You just create it yourself with the own music that you want and everything like that. Because even when you do click on this right now, that's.
And you said that my project will be taught next meeting.
Probably not. Probably the following. Maybe next. Maybe next. Either next or the following one. Okay. So anyway, I'll take you back to library, to everything, and yeah. So that's how you do that. Okay.
Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome. I know it's confusing when you have as many photos as you have and as many things, but if you can isolate, 10 or 20 photos that work, then you can make an automatic memory, or you can make an album with 600 photos if you want, and then isolate from those the best ones and make a slideshow from that. Okay.
All right, got it now.
You're welcome. All right. The extended time is over at 1, so it's like an extra 40 minutes. So I've got 2 more minutes. I know people are signing out because this is, but if you stay, you can hear the rest of the questions. Okay, so are you still here, Molly? No, I know you have a hand, but no, Molly left. Molly had a question. I changed from Lola to Lola. No, it was from before. Okay. All right. So there's another question, Yolanda. When you merge faces to correct names, do pictures disappear? No, names don't disappear. Pictures don't disappear. They just converge to be recognized. These are Peter and this one is Peter's. You put them together under Peter, all the photos of Peter and Peter's now show up under Peter. Nothing gets lost. Okay, that's the answer to Yolanda. Just trying to answer questions that were written a while ago. Okay, there you go. So yeah, Sarah, what's your question?
Yeah, this is about like kind of like sub-sorting. I have a bunch of photographs over the years from the retreat house, RH, okay? I don't know who they all are, but I want to put them in like RH people, and that would be a group of all of those
No.
people? No.
No. Next week, the moment we start, I'll be teaching you all about albums. That's where you would put it. People is only for frontal face distinction. You don't put groups of photos like
So I
that.
could, yeah, so I could put it into an album. I've already done albums before. So I could just say RH album, right?
Or folder. If you have many times, like you can have a folder called RH, and inside of that you have RH of 1990, RH of 2002, RH of 20, like you can have sub albums inside of the folder, and that's what I'm going to teach you next week. Or it could be all just one album called RH, and everything RH is all in there. You might end up with albums of thousands of photos, and then you might want to do sub stuff, right?
Right.
So,
I wanted, like some of them I want to delete.
yeah.
Eventually.
So in that case, you should have a folder with anything RH in them. You might have 10 little albums, and then you might delete some of them.
Got it.
If you saw the way Yolanda had it, she had like travel and then sub stuff in there. Thing is that she has a bunch of other stuff too, so it got confusing. But had I collapsed all her folders, you would have seen she had, I think, only 8 folders. But by having them expanded, there's folders within folders, and so it looked like she had.
Yeah, right.
But really, it was inside of 8 main folders.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're great, by the way.
You're welcome. All right. Now I'm looking at those towards the camera. All right. Anything else, Rosa or whoever's left? No.
Diana,
yeah.
When you is it in the Mac level 2 that you're going to help the 4 people to do a backup?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Right. And where can I get back? What kind of backup hard drives do I get, and how
So
much?
Sarah, I sent you the link and I told you watch the first recording of Mac level 2.
Got it. Never mind.
I spent.
Okay, I got it. You don't have to go any further. I totally get
In
it.
case
Thank
anyone
you.
else has that question.
Thank you.
Mary, your hand is up.
Yes, I just had a quick question. Do you about the info box? Are you going to talk about the keyword and descriptions? Because I just wondered, if those are useful if I'm trying to organize my photos or not.
Yeah, they're extremely useful. And yes, I'm going to be talking about that in the next 2 days. It's going to be albums, folders, keywords, because up until now, I've shown you what Apple does for you.
Okay, good.
And now I'm going to be showing what you do. And what you do is albums and keywords. So,
perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. All right. Okay, guys, unless there's any other questions, then I'll see you guys in a week and some of you guys on Wednesday.
Toodles.
Toodaloo.